England is set up in the backfield like he is right now, I guarantee you they hand the ball to England here, it gains maybe a half yard.
Yeah, and the defensive line, this is a hard offense to play against as a defensive lineman because they throw the ball and they get it out of there quick. And, I mean, it's just one of those games that you don't feel like that.
Here's Rutherford. Sets up the screen. That pass incomplete off the hands of the intended receiver, almost into the waiting arms of Javen Booker. And that Booker would still be running, I think, and could possibly have his second pick six of the game. As it is, it brings up 2nd and 10. More importantly, it stops the clock with 3:35 left to go. Dragons down by 10, 41-31. Their defense needs to make something happen. A turnover here would be absolutely premium. 3:35 left to go, 41-31. 10 seconds on the play clock now. Rutherford checks with the sideline. 3 receivers come to the near side for Campbell County, moving from your left to your right. England motions into the backfield. This time, somebody on the defense mirrors him. This time, no, it is going to be a swing out here to Markham. Markham makes one man miss in the backfield, but a nice tackle on the backside. Andrew Niner coming up with the stop. Didn't think that Niner was going to be in the lineup tonight, but clearly something changed between lunchtime and this evening. Andrew Niner in the game here tonight. Nice play right there. Makes it 3rd down and 6 after the 4-yard gain on 1st down. So ball at the 35-yard line. 4 receivers split over to the far side, 1 to the near. That is Logan Berry. 3 minutes left in the game. Clock continuing to run. Here is Rutherford. Turns. Huge play right there. And Josh Breeden absolutely nowhere to go for Logan Berry.
Good job, dude.
And that was a timeout called by Coach Randy McCamey, the Dragons' final timeout. It is going to be 4th down, and that's going to be about 4th and 8 because that was a 2-yard loss on the play. The pass was a swing out here to the near side. It was caught immediately by Berry, but that pass sniffed out almost as immediately by Josh Breeden. And so now with 2 minutes and 47 seconds left to go in this 4th quarter, it'll be Campbell County's football up by 10. 4th down and 9 yards to go.
They're in a position now. I mean, Campbell County is not – I will be shocked if they punt the football here.
Oh, yeah.
And so our defense, our secondary is about to get tested. You know, play assignment football, be disciplined, make the tackle.
And remember, everybody, tomorrow, 2:30, right here on Wish and WQLA, the NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs continue from the Kansas Speedway outside Kansas City, Kansas, for the Kansas Lottery 300. And Sunday, as I continue to try and set my record for saying the word Kansas in one night, Sunday at 2 o'clock, the Monster Energy Cup Series, Hollywood Casino 400 from, you guessed it, Kansas. It's all right here this weekend on Wish and WQLA. Sunday's race, 2 o'clock, also on Merle FM. 4th down and about 8 yards to go for Campbell County. They're going to go for it. Offense on the field here. 3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near as they motion England into the backfield. That'll be Rutherford rolling out. He'll fire. This pass is complete to Sean Markham, and that's pretty much going to put the kibosh on the Dragons back. 38 left to go. 41-31 is our score. County with the lead to pick a big 1st down on 4th down right there. And I think all of the air has left the Dragon sidelines. But what an effort they put out here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it came out fast, you know, hit them in the mouth. Scored. I mean, offensively, it's the best they've played,
clearly, by
a long shot. Defensively, you know, kind of surprising. A lot of missed tackles tonight.
They're in the back game. He was almost caught back there, got out of a couple of tackles, and is going to pick up about 9 yards for the Cougars. And that's going to be down around the 15-yard line. It's going to be close to another Cougar 1st down. That was a pickup that time of 8 yards, so it'll be 2nd down and 2.
At this point, they
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the BBB Studios, the Friday Night Scoreboard, brought to you by the one and only Mulch and More. Before we get started tonight, Aaron, give us a rundown about Mulch and More.
Mulch and More is located in Midtown, really close to where I live. They've got mulch, the best topsoil in the area, in fact. You've got the Mountain Creek stone that you love that stuff.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, they'll do free estimates, tear downs. You just got to give Gary a call.
I saw Gary today. I saw Mulch and More in action right across from where I work.
Yeah.
Right across from Rockwood Community Center. They were doing some demolition, carrying out. They were tearing it down, hauling it off, just like we say. So give Gary a call today for a free estimate. What's that number?
It's 865-740-5229.
Give Gary a call. Let him take care of you. A lot of high school football tonight. We've got some scores to run down here in a minute. I saw a couple games on TV tonight, and I was at Kingston Pigeon Forge earlier. Kingston's rolling on with that. They were up 2 or 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
The game that was on TV tonight in Coalfield Oliver Springs, a big tribute to Coach Chris.
Yeah, very nice.
And Oliver Springs in the game.
Yeah, until the second half, Coalfield able to pull away, but Oliver Springs very respectable and showing that they are deserving of that playoff spot that they have wrapped up.
Harriman High School, a big win at Oakdale tonight. They get back on the winning block. They're getting things rolling. Let's run down some of these scores real quick.
Okay.
We'll get back at it.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right. Hardin Valley defeats Bearden tonight. Bearden defeats Hardin Valley tonight, 42-3. I actually picked Hardin Valley to win that game, and when you see that blowout like that, I'm like, wow.
I'm just kidding.
I messed that one up. Jellicoe gets the win over Cosby tonight, 16-8. It was Rockwood with a shutout over Hancock County, 47-0. Cloudland gets defeated tonight by Johnson County. Cloudland having a great season, but they fall to 8-2 as Johnson County stays undefeated at 9-0. That final score was 30-16. Alcoa rolls over Gatlinburg-Pittman, 45-6. Cleveland with a win over Ottawa, 42-7. Gibbs, a big winner over Carnes, 43-13. Kingston, as you said, gets the win over Pigeon Forge, 30-14. It was Maryville with a shutout of Heritage, 52-0. And in the BBB TV game of the week tonight, Coalfield gets it done over Oliver Springs, 41-21.
A couple other scores that have gone to final. Oneida defeats Bledsoe County, 14-0. Carnes over Seymour by a score of 30-18. Greenback keeps on rolling. They win 63-14 against Midway. Alcoa 45 to Gatlinburg-Pittman 6, as stated before. Halls defeats Sevier County 20-13. Here's a score that we're going to want to know. Did we give an Oak Ridge score?
We've not given an Oak Ridge score yet.
Oak Ridge defeats Powell 42-7. Sweetwater over Tellico Plains 17-8. And let's see, Bearden Big over Hardin Valley. Union County 35, Sullivan Central 20. Gibbs blows out Carter by a score of 43-13. Grace, back on another battle of the private schools. Grace beats Silverdale 45-0. Jellicoe defeats Cosby 16-8. Greenville big over Granger County 42-0. Another battle of the private schools here. Webb defeats CAK 49-14. It's still difficult for me to see a CAK team struggle as much as they have this year. I know we don't get a lot of phone calls from people, from CAK fans, but just growing up playing against them and seeing them after you see the quarterbacks, all the wide receivers, Josh Smith, they set all these records, and to see them struggle like they have,
what are they?
It's different.
They're 4 years removed from a state championship in which they had to defeat Alcoa to get there. So, it is hard to see CAK in that position.
Red Bank beats Lenore City 44-7. Guys, if you've got scores that we have missed that we haven't put up yet, I know Mr. Peters always gives us a call. He'll have some scores coming in soon. Give us a call at 865-483-8112. Let's talk a bit of high school football. We're going to get some of the regulars in here. We'll get a Kingston update. Hopefully we'll get Jesse Smithy on the line and Will West, talk some high school football. Hopefully we'll be joined by Johnathon Cox this week. He's kind of like that solar eclipse we had back in the summer. Only comes around once in a moon, but when it does, pretty good.
That's right. A final score just came in, so I want to report Austin East defeats Northview Academy 41-24. Northview led a lot of that game, and that really would have shaken up that region right there.
Kingston was probably really pulling for Northview because that would have. I was driving. I was listening to it on the radio.
Yeah.
And you would have had some kind of a three-way tie.
Yeah.
Because you would have had Northview beat Austin East beat King.
Yeah.
That big thing. But
yeah. So that's not going to happen. So the winner of that region is going to come down to next week's matchup between Austin East and Alcoa. I like how they do these schedules. It's almost like they know who the best two teams are, and so maybe Gary Rankin calls and says, "Hey, let's play that in week 11 because that's going to decide a championship." So Alcoa, Austin East will have the 1 or 2 seed, and then Kingston looking like they're going to get that 3 seed, which is a huge deal.
It's a big win tonight. They're going to travel next week to Gatlinburg-Pittman.
Yep.
Hopefully pick up another win on the season and end the season on a high note going into the playoffs. Let me break down to you some offensive statistics from the Rockwood-Hancock County game tonight. Rockwood with 486 yards of total offense.
Whew.
Over 400 in the first half, I believe.
Yeah.
I think they called off the dogs, got a lot of substitutes, got a lot of younger kids some playing time tonight. 24 first downs, 381 rush yards, 105 passing yards, 0 turnover. That might be the most important thing because they didn't turn the ball.
Right, yeah.
You see head coaches all the time talking about turnovers are key to success and to wins. And so even in a big game like that, it's good that you stay focused and that you don't turn the ball over.
Yeah, and Coach Webb runs that wing tee, loves that old school running kind of offense. So when you can run that to perfection, you gain 380 yards on the ground, and you don't have any turnovers. You've got to be really pleased with that.
They have senior night, homecoming, everything's next week, and I guarantee you, Coach Webb, those are about 2 or 3 things he does not like is homecoming, and anything that's extra outside the football game tends to get him tense, and he's got it all next week against Cumberland Gap, and if they can win Cumberland Gap, they'll finish second in the region, I do believe.
Yeah.
Second or fourth is what he told me Thursday. We were painting the football field for the middle school, and he said the way it falls is I don't think they can come in third. It's second or fourth, win or lose. And tell you what, we talked about high school football a lot. There was some good middle school football played this week too. Thursday night, both Rockwood and Kingston advanced to the state championship in their respective divisions and regions. So I think Rockwood's traveling to Jacksboro. They're traveling somewhere next Saturday, way far away, probably close to Kentucky. Kingston may play a home game because I think they've had a really, really good year.
And Oliver Springs, of course, just always turns out such great middle school teams.
That's who. They'll play Oliver Springs.
Yeah, so Oliver Springs goes, Rockwood goes.
They're playing against each other.
Yeah, and
travel 3 hours to play each other.
Pretty interesting. Yeah, and you said Cherokee,
Kingston.
Yeah, so how about that for Roane County teams? That's where it all starts. Well, no, it all starts in your little leagues, your pee-wees, and things like that. But you want a good, strong middle school program to carry on to the high school level. And that's something all these great high school teams have. They've got that really strong middle school program that can help propel them.
They're all running the middle school program, and you can argue this, should almost be treated as a feeder system.
Right.
It's not about running, if your high school is running the wing tee, it's almost doesn't do you justice to run a 7-wide spread
exactly
running an offense. So, I saw a sneak peek of this first caller, and if you're at home right now, I want you to take a second and guess who you think it is, and we're going to go right to him. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Mr. Peters, how you doing?
Doing good. How about you?
We're doing good. Have you got some scores for us tonight?
Well, I got in a little late. I don't know the scores you give. Did you have the Sunbright score?
We don't have a final for that one.
I did not see a Sunbright score.
Okay, I got it fourth quarter, 29-22, Lookout Valley. I don't know how much time's left. Did you get the Meigs County? You got the Meigs County, right?
Yes.
Okay. 09 is 14-0 was their final.
Yes.
Over Bledsoe.
Looks like Morristown East beat Cott County 38-25.
I don't have anything on Wartburg and Sail Creek.
I've got an Anderson County final. Would you be surprised if they scored 60-plus points tonight? They beat East Hamilton 63-14, Anderson County.
Yeah, I saw that.
Dobbins-Bennett squeaks by. No, didn't squeaks by. Dobbins-Bennett beats Morristown West 41-23.
Yeah, Marion County is leading Loudon 46-38. That's getting real late in the game, real late, maybe a minute left.
Who, you mentioned Lookout Valley earlier. Who are they playing tonight?
Sunbright.
Sunbright, okay.
Yeah, they're playing Sunbright, and it was 29-22, fourth quarter.
That'd be real big for Sunbright. Pick up another win on the season. That's a Lookout Valley team that struggled. I played baseball against their football coach growing up. I don't really know what transpired, but he's the football coach this year. He's had to step up and play the role of head coach that year. So that's
Your
a win.
score just popped up, guys. Alabama 49, Tennessee 7.
Oh, so that's Tennessee. No, not covering.
49-6.
So you don't have the Vols covering tomorrow, do you?
Oh boy, I tell you, I don't know how they can. Do you?
No, there's no. I am not a betting man, but I would not put. I don't think the Vols will cover tomorrow.
Well, I doubt it. It's just too many weaknesses there, guys. I tell you, the receivers can't get open. The line blocks seems like when it's part of the game, and then part of the game they don't. Defense plays good for a while, then they wear out, and really you can't blame it on quarterback. Quarterback, I guess, doing about all they can. He's young anyway, so.
And Dennis, the line was something that they bragged on, the offensive line. I mean, going into the season.
That's supposed to have been a strong point.
And then I think they kind of realized and started maybe scaling it back and, putting water on the fire. The spread is now at 36.5.
36.5.
I just got breaking news. Lookout Valley defeats Sunbright on a fumble recovery. So they've recovered a fumble, and they're going to defeat Sunbright. So whatever that score you said was late is probably what the final is.
29-22.
29-22. Plus.
All right.
Hey, Dennis, who is our Tennessee's next football coach going to be?
Not John Gruden, right?
That'd be news to me.
Not John Gruden, and not who's the guy? Chip Kelly. Not him either. I don't know, guys. I don't know who we're gonna get. I'm hoping this new athletic director, Curry, will come up with somebody pretty good. I don't think he'll make a bad hire if he can get somebody.
From everything I've read, he is wanting to maybe not keep Butch, but he wants to let him coach as much through the season as possible. I've heard different people say he's going to coach the Alabama game, and then I've heard he's at least going to coach the Kentucky game.
Yeah.
Jimmy Hyam seems to think it's the Kentucky game, and win or lose, that's when they're going to make the call.
Yeah, one of those internet sites, they said that after the Alabama game he would be gone, but, that's purely speculation.
Right.
I don't know.
So, yeah, Gruden, the next head coach.
Gruden, the next head coach. I guess that's as good as we could do.
Yeah.
For sure. That'd be great if we could get him, I guess. But anyway, hang in there, guys. Maybe we'll come up with something tomorrow and stay within 40.
All right. Hey, call us back if you get some more scores.
See you guys.
See you. Caller, you're on the air.
41-12, Wartburg over Sale Creek.
41-12, a big win for Wartburg. Travel to Sale Creek. That's a big road win.
Yep.
Are you, Mr. Christ, do you have somebody on the team, or are you a Wartburg Bulldog fan?
I'm a Wartburg and Oliver Springs football fan. I got a nephew on both of them.
Well, which game did you go to tonight?
Oliver Springs.
Well, I was watching that on TV. They were in the game, I want to say, like Aaron said, most of the first half. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they played a real good game.
And now Oliver Springs, they've played their way into a playoff game, correct?
Yeah.
And do Do they kind of know where they're probably going to wind up going? They'll probably have to go on the road, I'm assuming, for the first round.
I would say so.
But no really idea of where to?
No, not that I've heard anyway.
All right, well, I'll have to dial up Coach Kegley and get the inside, get the scoop.
Yep.
All right, well, hey, appreciate you calling in.
All right, thank you.
All right, see you. Call, you're on the air.
Yeah, I just wanted to let y'all know that they said that Philip Palmer is going to fill in till Steve Spurrier got up here.
Well, that'd be something.
All right, y'all have a good night.
All right, see you. Philip Fulmer, the interim. This is breaking. Emulsion more breaking news. Fulmer, the interim. I've heard Fulmer to be the interim. I don't know how reliable that is, but people have put that out there.
Yeah.
The old ball coach coming back and coaching Tennessee.
I think I would take that.
I would take that.
I think I would take Steve Spurrier coaching the Vols. I think I would.
I heard Lane Giffen might come back. Who knows?
Yeah, well.
Call, you're on the air.
Yes, I got a score for Harriman and Oakdale, 48-20.
48-20, Harriman over Oakdale.
Yes, sir.
All right, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Big Blue Devil fan?
Yeah, I'm from Harriman.
All right, well, congratulations on a big win tonight.
Thank you.
See.
So let's talk about Region 2 Single A. Here's the situation. You've got Greenback is going to win the region. Coalfield is going to be second in the region. But then it gets a little bit chippy because right now you've got a tie with Sunbright losing tonight. And the reason why that's important is because if you've got a tiebreaker in region, which you do right now, you've got Sunbright is 2-4 in the region, and Oliver Springs is 2-4 in the region, and Midway is 2-3 in the region. They'll finish up, or I'm sorry, Oliver Springs is 3-2 in the region.
Okay.
So Oliver Springs Midway will play next week. If Midway wins that game, Midway gets the 3 seed, and Oliver Springs will be the 4 seed.
This is what I've got on that. Oliver Springs beats Midway, they go to Jellicoe, lose to Midway, and they go to Cloudland.
So there you go.
That's from the secret text line.
There you go. So, which we'll give that out one of these days. No, but see, that's the way it looks like it's going to be. Oliver Springs playing really good football right now. I would project them to beat Midway next week. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. That's just what I would project. And if that happens, Oliver Springs gets the 3 seed. But that 4 seed, you're going to have a tie between Sunbright, Harriman, and Sunbright, Harriman, and Midway. However, Harriman is mathematically eliminated. They can't do it, but you still have that 3-way tie in the region. So then you have to go to the next tiebreaker, which is total number of victories. Well, with Sunbright's loss tonight, they are 4-5 on the year. Well, Midway is 5-4 on the year. So if Oliver Springs beats Midway, then Midway's 5-5, and if Sunbright wins next week against Unaka, they will be 5-5. So then you have to go to the next tiebreaker, which is the number of games played against teams with a 500 record or better. And I've not dug into that to know. But so that's the situation for next week. It's Midway and Sunbright. Either one of them could make the playoffs. Either one of them could be eliminated. So you're in one of those situations where Midway is either going to get the 2 seed or I'm sorry, they're either going to get the 3 seed or the 4 seed. It's between Oliver Springs, Midway, and Sunbright. So
You literally just blew my mind.
yeah, it's interesting stuff, isn't it?
I don't know if you saw the in the back, but they ought to just, so many tiebreakers, be like, all right, pick your best guy, bare knuckle brawl, let's go. First
there you
blood.
go. Yeah.
NWO style,
Right.
WCW.
Yeah.
So, guys, our lines are wide open. Give us a call at 865-483-8112. I tell you, it's good to see all those teams in the mix, all these teams that are, local, surrounding counties. It's good to know that win or lose, a handful of them are going to have a chance to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think that game next week between Midway and Oliver Springs is important because the winner of that is going to get that number 3 seed. And that number 3 seed gets to avoid Cloudland, which is pretty much the team you don't want to play from Region 1. The rest are beatable. And so that game next week, you want to win that game. If you're Oliver Springs, you want to win that game if you're Midway, because you got an opportunity to make it into the next round of the playoffs. Well, I mean, you're always going to have an opportunity to make it to the next round, but you're going to have a lot better of an opportunity to make it into the next round if you win that game next week.
And like you said, if Vegas put out the spread or the lines, I think Oliver Springs would be favored. If you're from Midway and you watch the show, call us and give us an update on the quarterbacks. I think the Midway quarterback has been hurt, and that is it's affected them. It's bad when your quarterback goes down. It would affect any team negatively. So if he, they kind of go as your quarterback goes. Yeah.
So. And Midway is one of the smallest schools in East Tennessee, or in the entire state of Tennessee. So if you lose a quarterback, it really is detrimental to your program. So
guys, give us a call. This is the BBB Friday Night Scoreboard, brought to you by Mulch & Moore. We're going to pay some quick bills and return right after this break.
Mulch & Moore in Midtown is your landscaping headquarters. Mulch & Moore offers mulch, the best topsoil in the area. All types of gravel, sand, pea gravel, either loose or in bags, creek rock, river rock, field stone, mountain mist stone, railroad cross ties, straw bales, fence posts, farm gates, and much more. Mulch & Moore offers backhoe and dump truck service. And Mulch & Moore can also demolish a house or building on your property, and they'll haul it off for you. Give Gary a call today at 865-740-5229 for Mulch & Moore in Midtown.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
Really? Again? Hey, if I had automotive style suspension like the new Simplicity, plus a free-floating mower deck for the best cut, I'd be all that too.
Well...
And if I had the expertise and advice of his Simplicity dealer, maybe he'd look forward to hanging out with me.
You don't have a Simplicity dealership.
Good point. Huh.
Yeah.
SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Ladies, it's football time at Hammer Stores and time to show the colors of your favorite college team. Hurry to Hammers and get ready for the big weekend games, the tailgate parties, or game day Fridays at work. Choose from top labels sold in better specialty stores and upscale department stores. Put together a dressy two-piece outfit or go casual with a beautiful top and jeans. Shop Hammers and get set for kickoff now.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
It's time to look closer to home and energize America with fuel made in America. Natural gas is a cleaner, safer, more efficient, and more affordable energy choice. ORUD is your family's comfort provider. Natural gas is the responsible choice for your family, your wallet, and the environment. Gas is a great value, but it is also the best way to cook, heat your water, and warm your home. If you want the best for less, switch your house to natural gas.
The Harriman Utility Board provides electric, gas, water, and sewer services for the city of Harriman, as well as most of Roane and Morgan counties. Recent major projects include an upgrade of our 161 kilovolt electric substation. Another ongoing project is the rehabilitation of an antiquated sewer system, including an upgrade of our wastewater treatment plant. These projects will improve the quality and reliability of these services and meet state and federal requirements. For more information, visit our website at hub-tn.com or call us at 865-882-3242.
Get yourself unchained from large pharmacies. Shop and support your local independent pharmacies in our hometowns. In Kingston, shop Kinzer Drugs. In Harriman, shop Chase Drugs. And in Rockwood, Live and Let Live Drugstore. Keep our money local to help our community. Your independent pharmacies help support local high school sports, local civic groups, little leagues, marching bands, annual staffs, yearbooks, and other school clubs and activities. Remember, in Harriman, shop Chase Drugs. In Kingston, visit Kinzer Drugs. And in Rockwood, Live and Let Live Drugstore. The next time you have prescription need, try your local hometown independent pharmacy. We were here for you before the chains, and we're here for you now. In Kingston, Kinzer Drugs. In Harriman, Chase Drugs. And in Rockwood, support Live and Let Live Drugstore. Be sure to spend your dollars locally. And please support our young people of today because they will be our leaders tomorrow.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Friday Night Scoreboard, brought to you by Mulch & More. Mulch & More, they have the county's best topsoil in all of Rome County.
Yep.
They've got mulch, $10 a scoop, and they'll deliver it to you.
Yep.
Mountain Mist Stone.
That's right.
A personal favorite of mine.
That's right.
Demolition.
Yep.
They tear it down, and what else do they do?
They haul it off.
They haul it off.
Yeah.
So they don't just tear it down and leave. They're going to clean it up and get it out for you. They've got fence ties, creek rock, sand, river rock.
Yeah.
Give Gary a call today. Oh, and they got backhoe and dump truck service.
Yeah.
So basically, Gary can do it all. Mulch & More, give him a call for a free estimate, 865-740-5229. Couple scores that have gone final. Marion County defeats Loudon 53-38. Fulton defeats West 41-14. Cumberland Gap defeats Claiborne 26-20. And North Green with a win over Twin Springs, Virginia. Scratch that. North Green defeated by Twin Springs, Virginia 28-12. Guys, give us a call at 865-483-8112. Let's go back to the phone lines. Call, you're on the air.
There you go.
Wow, doing good. How you doing?
Question is, I'm sorry. Question is, on the Rockwood and all that division.
Yes, sir.
How does that iron out? If we hope Rockwood wins, but how does that iron out if Rockwood loses?
I talked to Coach Webb yesterday, and if Rockwood wins next week, we get a home game as the 2 seed, and if Rockwood loses next week, we'll have to travel as the 4 seed. So however all that works out, I don't think we can be the 3 seed. I think if we lose, we're the 4 seed, and if we win, we'll host a game at Civitan Field as the 2 seed.
Okay.
So,
I'll make audience back later to talk about UT, if that's okay.
Well, we can talk about it right now if you want to.
Okay.
Who knows what could happen between now and then? We better just talk about it now.
All right.
What you got?
I was going to say on them coaches, if it happened, I don't know. I'm going to lay out there Memphis coach, and I'm going to lay out there trying to get one of Alabama's assistant coaches. It may sound crazy, but I heard that's what Georgia done, was got one of Alabama's assistant coaches. I don't know if that's true or not.
People tend to pluck from the Alabama tree, and Memphis with a big comeback win last night against Houston.
Yeah.
So Riley Ferguson is down there just killing it.
Yeah, he is.
So either one of those picks would probably suffice for a lot of fans.
What's Mr. Cox think there?
Well, Mr. Cox isn't here. This is Aaron Harvey. Mr. Cox has been AWOL here the past few weeks. So.
Oh, I'm sorry, Aaron Harvey.
Yeah, that's okay. What do you think about it, Aaron?
I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do. The Memphis coach, I believe, is a coach that a lot of Tennessee fans have talked about because he was able to pick up exactly where Justin Fuente left off. And so just kept rolling with that Memphis program. A lot of people have joked around that Memphis is the best team in the state of Tennessee. So, if you can't be state champs, Tennessee fans, go get the coach that is the state champ. I don't know. But so I'm not really sure where they'll go from there. As far as like taking from the Saban coaching tree, we've actually done that once. Derek Dooley was from the Saban coaching tree. Also, Will Muschamp from the Saban coaching tree. We saw what he did at Florida. So some of those coaches do really well, and some do not. So we'll
Was Kirby
we'll
Smart?
see. Kirby Smart was the defensive coordinator at Alabama before he got the head coaching job at Georgia. But, and I don't want to take anything away from Coach Smart, because I think he's done a really good job at Georgia. However, I think he's benefiting a lot from Mark Richt's recruiting, because Sony Michel was already there, and Nick Chubb was already there, and you already had an offensive line that was built for a power running game. So I do think that Kirby Smart has benefited a lot from Mark Richt's leftovers, and he's continued to build on it. So I said I don't want to take anything away from him. You have to give him credit for the way he has continued to build, but also he didn't have to start from scratch like, say, a Butch Jones did. So,
you know who else is in the Nick Saban coaching tree who would probably give his both his kidneys to coach at Tennessee again?
Who's that?
Lane Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin.
What do you think about Lane Kiffin coming back to coach the Vols?
No.
We burned mattresses when he left, and we'd probably burn mattresses if he came back.
I wouldn't.
Have I got time to say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
I bringing this up. I know it's a little early, but they're talking basketball coming around the corner for UT. About 2 weeks.
They
football.
They released the rankings, preseason rankings. The Vols were ranked 13th, and for most everybody that is in, they said that was low. They really thought that was low, and that Coach Barnes could probably use that as some good bulletin board material. What do you think about Coach Barnes?
I wasn't crazy about the hire when it was made, because I felt like you can go get an up-and-comer where you don't really know the ceiling. But I felt like with Coach Barnes, you did kind of know the ceiling, because he had, who was it, DJ Augustine and Kevin Durant, and the farthest they went was the Final Four, and they went there with those players. That's a really good nucleus of players. And so I thought, well, geez, if you can't win a championship, because that's the end game, winning a championship, that's what every team wants to do. If you can't win a championship at Texas with Kevin Durant, then what are you going to do at Tennessee? And so I wasn't really crazy about the hire. However, I do think that Coach Barnes has done a really good job to restore order to the program after what Donnie Tyndall left. And so I think he's a great stepping stone for whoever comes next. And I do think that this Tennessee team has potential to be very good, because I thought last year's team overachieved when they didn't really have potential to be great. And so I'm looking for an exciting basketball season from Coach Barnes and the men Vols.
Yeah, Rick Barnes ain't going to be the coach for the next 5 or 10 years, probably.
No.
So, but he's a good way after. He's better than Butch Jones, but he came in and got the program stable where it needed to be.
Yeah.
I'll get off here. I'll get off here and let y'all comment about the Lady Vols.
Okay.
All right. See you.
Have a good.
Holly Warlick better win basketball games this year. That's my comment on the Lady Vols.
That's right.
Call, you're on the air.
Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Alex.
What's going on?
Not much. Coming back by a Bull Run steam plant, coming off an Oak Ridge victory.
Nice. A big win for Oak Ridge.
Oh, yeah. Puts them in position to next week at Fulton is the all-important game everybody's been looking forward to for a few weeks now, but now officially with an Oak Ridge win tonight, it's for the region championship.
So, Alex, tell us about this Oak Ridge team, the mindset. They got blown out. They got shut out early in the season against Farragut, and a lot of people thought, well, can Coach Gaddis do it without T. Higgins? Can he do it without some of those playmakers from last year? He got Johnny Stewart back at quarterback, but the season has really flipped and turned around, and Oak Ridge looks like a serious contender now. What helped that switch flip? Was it that Farragut blowout?
Well, I think it's a couple things. I think there's some good points, but there's also some, some confusion out there if you haven't followed Oak Ridge real closely. I think part of it is that in the blowout to Farragut, yes, that did kind of turn some heads. But Oak Ridge, granted, I'm not on here saying they should have won that game. They shouldn't have. They got thoroughly beaten. But Oak Ridge was in position to score and then turned the ball over, I think, 3 times in the red zone. I know they dropped, I think, on 4th down a pass that was in the end zone. So, that was a game that, as an Oak Ridge fan, I thought they probably should have lost that game by 14, 17 points. They got blown out just because they couldn't take advantage of field position and when they got down near the end zone. But this team has flipped the switch. Yes, they're much improved. They found some playmakers. You talked about the lack of T. Higgins this year. He was actually at the ball game tonight. But this team is not, even though they don't have that big name, Johnny Stewart is surrounded with a ton of talent around him. The offensive line was a question mark coming into the season. They've grown, they've matured, but they found ways to get the balls into playmakers' hands. But also, I'm not gonna pour the water hose at you and tell you it's raining. This team, the schedule has gotten easier after Dobbins Bennett and after Farragut. So it's kind of a combination of all those things. That the schedule has been much more manageable, certainly, but this team has grown, and they're clicking on all cylinders right now, pretty much on both sides of the ball. The defense is carrying this team when it needs to, and it's no mistake that Oak Ridge is playing well at the right part of the season, for sure.
So our guy Johnathon Cox, you know that he's a Fulton guy.
He's a big Fulton man.
He's a big Fulton guy, and you're an Oak Ridge guy. So how do you see that battle going next week? And are you and Johnathon Cox going to get into a cage match as a precursor to that game to try to get everybody fired up about it?
For the kids.
Did you ever see what happened to Mick Foley when he climbed on top of the cage?
Yes. Yes.
Similar situation to that. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think it'll be a good game. Personally, I'm looking forward to it because I've actually never been to a Fulton game at Fulton. So I'm really excited about that, excited to see the environment. I'm excited to see Fulton in person. Obviously, there's a lot of hoopball, a lot of excitement around that team. And the Oak Ridge team has gotten praise as of late as well. So I think it sets up to be a good game. The one thing I'm concerned about, Oak Ridge, is not necessarily as far as what Fulton has done. It's really limiting the mistakes they do to themselves, even early in this ball game, although they got it turned around quickly and fixed the mistakes. The first couple of possessions for Oak Ridge were not good. They couldn't take advantage of good field position, and they protected the ball pretty well all night for the most part, but they had a few turnovers, a couple close situations that they were able to cover a fumble in an instance, but they did fumble the ball still. So if Oak Ridge can tighten some things up there, I think they've got a chance to go out there and get the region title, certainly, and their defense will be key, as it has been all year, because their defense is what this team leans on. So I'm excited for a matchup, but I'm excited as a local high school football fan to see that environment and what it'll be like.
One more thing, and then I'll let Chase get a question if he wants to. Oak Ridge going to get that 1 or 2 seed regardless of how next week goes. It's been, since 2013 since Oak Ridge has been out of the first round of the playoffs. What about this team gives you an impression that maybe they can do it this year?
Well, this team, the defense is really good, and Oak Ridge has had good defenses in recent memory, yes. But also, I think that 5A is not quite as strong as it has been top to bottom in total. So I think that Oak Ridge, as well as they're playing, it's also about who else they would be playing. And I think that certainly has a factor into it. Another factor is Oak Ridge tonight with the win went ahead and sealed the fact that they will get at least one home playoff game. So that first-round opening playoff game will be at Blankenship Field, and that has to be an encouraging sign for Wildcat fans as well. And if they beat Fulton next week, if they're able to do that, it's a tall task, but if they're able to do that, then if they win the first round, the second round will be at Blankenship as well.
Awesome. Hey, would you like to cut a WWE promo calling out Johnathon Cox and what the Oak Ridge Wildcats are going to do to the Fulton Falcons?
Well, if you were asking me to cut a WWE promo on him, talk a little smack, I would just first off start by calling him a jabroni, and then I would say, "What you going to do when the Wildcats come down on you?"
There you go.
That's pretty good.
Not bad. You need a little bit more bass in your voice, but that's okay. We'll work on it.
All right, hey, thanks.
All right, well, go Vols. Let's shock the world. That's not happening. Sorry.
Yeah.
I wanted to get my own host up, but
hey,
y'all have a good one. Take care. Good to talk to you guys.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Calling in from Hoover, Alabama, my father, Mark Clem. They ventured down to Hoover tonight. They're going to go watch the destruction tomorrow in Tuscaloosa, Alabama-Tennessee game. What's going on?
A little different kind of football we watched tonight. There was probably 6,000 in attendance at $8 a pop. There's your 48,000. Probably 2,500 to 3,000 cars at $5 a pop. There's you about 10 to 15 more thousand. Pretty big gate.
Pretty big gate. Who was Hoover playing tonight?
Hoover was playing Vestavia Hills. They each had about 80 to 85 players on the sidelines. It was, as we was pulling out of the parking lot, Vestavia finally scored early in the fourth quarter to cut it to 17-7. But it was a good game. I bet there was, there's probably 7, 8 high Division I players out there for Hoover.
So very, very similar to a Rockwood-Harriman game.
Yeah, very similar, very similar.
Dad, what's going on with Knoxville? With the Vols, you're going to watch the Volunteers take on the Alabama Crimson Tide tomorrow. Alabama favored by 36.5 points. Are you taking Tennessee and the 36.5 points, or are you taking Alabama to cover that?
I'm taking Alabama to cover big time. I can't imagine it, but I don't really think that we can score, and they can score probably as many as they want. So it's going to be painful tomorrow, but it's something that's got to happen, and then let the groomers intensify.
I heard that groomer was at the Rockwood-Hancock County game tonight. I heard he has kinfolk in Rockwood on the Westall Mountain.
Well, if he did, he saw a barn burner of a game. It was, 40-0 at the half?
40-0 at the half, 47-0 final. Rockwood with over 400 yards, near 500 yards of total offense.
Yeah, I think we totally outmatched them tonight. But, that'll lead to a big game this coming week with Cumberland Gap. That'll be I'm not sure if we've secured a home playoff game, win or lose, but I know if we win, we'll have a home playoff game, which is pretty big for the Tigers.
The notorious Chuck Webb told me out in Civitan Field the other day that if we win, we're the 2 seed, and if we lose, we're the 4 seed. So we've got to win to have the home game, and I couldn't get a lick of confidence out of him because he would hop up a folding chair as, a good team. So you're not going to get one way or the other out of Coach Webb. Got to play good, nothing's certain.
It's a must-win. If you're the 4 seed, you're traveling a long way off to play a very good team. So we need all the Tiger supporters out Friday night so we can get the W.
Awesome. Hey, back to the groomers. How much of these groomers are true? How much of them do you actually believe? Who's going to be the next coach at the University of Tennessee?
I don't believe none of the groomers. The next head coach at the University of Tennessee is probably going to be Jeff Brome or Scott Frost.
Will we just
possibly David Cutcliffe? We could sneak in there and get David Cutcliffe to come over to right the ship.
Now, is Cutcliffe kind of a Rick Barnes in your eyes? He's not going to be there for too long. Has the ship sailed on bringing Cut back?
Not necessarily. I think he could come back and coach for about 7 years. And if he were to come back, that would put us in line to get some quarterbacks. And at this level, it's all about the quarterback. If you don't have a good quarterback, you're probably not going to be very successful unless you're Alabama, and they could win with me at quarterback.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You had Eric Ainge on Sports Animal say the only way he would give up his radio gig was if they brought Cut back. He said he would not give him the chance to tell him no, that he would be the quarterback's coach.
Cut would do good.
So I don't know if you noticed this, but in Duke's games, they'll dress a coach up in different colors to signal in plays. Cut's guys wears orange and white, and it's with the Duke emblem and everything on it. It's pretty neat.
He'll always be a Vol.
So, all right, well, enjoy the game tomorrow. Don't get sick looking at all that houndstooth, and try to disgrace the Nick Saban, Bear Bryant statues.
GBO, baby.
Gruden
mania. He's coming.
He's coming. See you.
See you.
For the Gruden thing, what's fascinating about it is that for something that is likely 90% false.
Yeah.
The reports, the stories, the detail. If people are just out there trolling, they're going to great lengths to troll.
Yeah, but that happened last time too.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to remember that. Everybody, you had actual media members. Eric Ainge himself said, "Hey, this is happening. I just heard this. This came from real big people. This is and it had no chance of happening." But a lot of people believed it because I have no idea why a lot of people believed it. There were sources inside of the athletic department that gave out false information, I guess, to people that they thought might matter. I don't know. So
Press the mute button.
That one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Gruden, what was we saying?
Well, why so many people believe it? You know, people just want it to be true.
Like Santa Claus. Wait, Santa's. Okay.
Santa's real. If you don't believe in Santa, then Krampus will come and eat your family.
Call, you're on the air.
Hey there, Chase and Aaron. This is Triple D.
Triple D calling in. Go ahead. Take it over, Aaron.
How's it going, Triple D?
Hey, it's going good, Oak Ridge, and they won. They look like they're peaking at the right time, and Anderson County, they continue to roll. So both of them won. So Triple D doing good.
Yeah. What do you think about that Oak Ridge Fulton matchup next week?
Oh, I think they're gonna be a showdown. They're gonna be, whoever take care of the ball, and they're stand the best chance of win. But whoever make the most mistakes, I think if Oak Ridge goes and take care of the ball, they have a good chance to win because they defense playing lights out. They got some good athletes on that other side of the ball, especially their cornerbacks. And that Jeremy Mitchell, he's a man child, and he been doing real well all this year. And so they defense is stout, and their offense is gelling. It seems like their line is growing up, and that's where they had matured at. And just like I said, Chase, I use that word, utilize and maximize.
Utilize and maximize.
That's biblical, I think.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said I think that's biblical.
Yeah. I mean, tonight I listened to the game, and they seem to utilize the running backs, and Jordan Graham come back, and of course he got to get back in the groove, but he did pretty good. But they had some guys to step up White in his absence. So they wide receiver Caleb Martin coming around. He's looking good the last 3 or 4 games, and that Kyrie Pendergrass, I think he's a sophomore, I believe. They got some young guys, and like I say, they gelling and they peaking at the right time, and I look forward for big things out of them next week. And I think I'm looking forward to them to beat Fulton, and because I think their defense is stout enough to hold Fulton, and it'd be a good game. But Anderson County is rolling, and like I say, you utilize and maximize what you got, and when you don't do that, you don't stand no chance of win. And talking about UT, it looked like all of a sudden the Callaway, he seems like the Casper, the friendly ghost at wide receiver.
He's gone, isn't he?
Yeah, he's gone. I mean, where is he? I mean, they try to throw to him when they in desperate need, trying to get some points, but they ought to, just like I say, utilize the man from the onset.
Speaking of wide receivers, you know who a wide receiver we haven't heard anything about lately? Jawan Jennings. How have we not heard a report on Jawan Jennings? I mean, is he better? Is he even on the team?
I mean, since that injury, you hadn't had nothing about him. I wonder what's going on there, but we talk about UT. I think I heard somebody that you called earlier mention David Cutcliffe, just like Triple D been saying all along. There's 3 candidates, legit candidates. You see what James Franklin got a Penn State. They number 2 team in the country, and now this is his 3rd year, and it ain't take him 5-6 years to get Penn State established. O'Brien could get the job done. They was in the cellar. And And he come up there, and this is his third year, and see what just like I said, Chase and there, a horse is only good as the jockey that rides.
Hallelujah.
That's right.
And Dan Antonio at Michigan State and Clubfield, them three guys, and Gary Patterson. But them three legit guys right there. You know, Cutcliffe, if I believe they offer picked up the phone and called Cutcliffe tomorrow, I believe he'll accept either James Franklin. I mean, you got, when you building a program, you know, but Jones, he probably, like I say, he's a second-tier coach at a first-tier program.
Well, he's on borrowed time, I believe. I think he's got about 2 more games left in him.
I would have took care of him last week. Because you just imagine what's going to happen tomorrow if they just struggle and couldn't score a touchdown against South Carolina. And South Carolina was just a mediocre team. Yeah. And Will Milchamp, all he did is send the dogs after him. And, you know, the quarterback didn't have a chance. And, you know, they line block here. And then sometimes they look good. They on the drive. Then all of a sudden they regress. They go back. But the name of the game is progress. Don't regress. And, you know, it look like Tennessee, like I say, Callaway, he turned into Casper as a wide receiver. And then the other receivers, they didn't even throw to the tight end. They didn't get one pass. What about the middle of the field there, chasing there? They didn't even throw one pass to the tight end last week. Yeah. How you expect to get the ball? You got to go down the field.
I know.
You know,
there, then you don't give it to Callaway or Kelly.
Yeah.
Oh no. See, you ain't utilize it. Well, that utilization. Yep. Come on, Butch. That's when your job is in jeopardy. I wouldn't have wasted another game with it. Yeah. I would have cleared the house, and that offensive coordinator, Scott. I mean, you know, he's all right, but at the same time, I don't know why he don't continue to try to get the ball in the wide receiver's hand. Open the field up, then you got a chance for Kelly to do what he normally do.
Well, maybe they'll put you on the coaching search, Triple D, on
the
committee.
Hey, I can go over there and do better than what he's doing. And you look at that defensive coordinator, when he come in, they had big high hopes for him. He ain't did nothing but murk the water.
That's true.
Yeah, he had, you know, look at Georgia Tech. He wasn't impressive against Georgia Tech, and he ain't been too impressed. South Carolina, they was, you know, like I say, that quarterback gonna be pretty good for South Carolina, and I want to commend him on how his sportsmanship, how he come over there and talk to after the game.
Yeah,
and so they got to just keep his head up. You know, you hardly ever see that kind of sportsmanship in nowadays. Most of the time they trash talking.
That's true.
And that was a class act based on what he did Saturday. You know, for him to come out victorious, and then he said what he said to the quarterback Tennessee.
That's true. It's good when we see good sportsmanship like that. And at the end of the day, a lot of those guys are brothers, and a lot of them probably talk on social media and are friends, and they play with each other growing up. So it's good to see rivals exchanging encouraging words after a game.
Yeah, it was. That was class on his part, and I commend him on that. And you know, tomorrow, Chase and Aaron, it's gonna be just like Alabama. It's gonna be one of them sites that you watching your dad and mama and your family member, your brother and sister getting beat up, and you can't do nothing about it. All you can do is watch.
That's right. Hey, Triple D, we've got to go. We've got a special guest that just walked in the door. He's going to have something to say about your Oak Ridge Wildcats when we come back.
All right, then, and you tell me, try to find out what my grandson done today. I know I was kind of road, but I kind of find out Coach Gillum, if he comes on there, if I find out what he done. And I'll let you go, Chase. I enjoy your show. God bless you all, and keep up the good work.
You too, Triple D. We appreciate you calling.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
All right, guys, if you're on hold, hang tight. We're going to take a quick break. We've got to pay bills. The lights are flickering. Got to talk to Brad about that. This is the BBB Friday Night Scoreboard brought to you by Mulch & More. We'll be right back.
Mulch & More in Midtown is your landscaping headquarters. Mulch & More offers mulch, the best topsoil in the area. All types of gravel, sand, pea gravel, either loose or in bags, creek rock, river rock, field stone, mountain mist stone, railroad cross ties, straw bales, fence posts, farm gates, and much more. Mulch & More offers backhoe and dump truck service. And Mulch & More can also demolish a house or building on your property, and they'll haul it off for you. Give Gary a call today at 865-740-5229 for Mulch & More in Midtown.
For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
Attention, all hunters, outdoorsmen, and preppers.
It's military surplus time at Hammers. You'll find over 20 different worldwide Army surplus items like ghillie suits, U.S. and Swiss sleeping bags, German safety vests, combat shirts, and more, priced from 99 cents to $69.95. Plus, there's our most popular item, 12x12 camo nets. Hurry, quantities are limited.
At ease. Now hurry to Hammers.
Smooth. Smooth cutting. And now even smoother riding. That's the Simplicity Lawn and Garden Tractors. Now with suspension. That's right. Simplicity is introducing suspension for residential lawn and garden tractors. The Suspension Comfort System.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood. Call 865-354-0600.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
Mulch & More in Midtown is your landscaping headquarters. Mulch & More offers mulch, the best topsoil in the area. All types of gravel, sand, pea gravel, either loose or in bags, creek rock, river rock, field stone, mountain mist stone, railroad cross ties, straw bales, fence posts, farm gates, and much more. Mulch & More offers backhoe and dump truck service. And Mulch & More can also demolish a house or building on your property, and they'll haul it off for you. Give Gary a call today at 865-740-5229 for Mulch & More in Midtown.
For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
Welcome back. Apparently we're back on the air with Johnathon Cox, the one and only. He's back in action. He's been down and out for a couple weeks. Hallelujah, he's here. Jonathan, welcome back.
It's good to be here. How are you all doing?
Doing great.
Take me through a little rundown of any upsets tonight.
No upsets, I don't believe. It was about all chalk.
Whoa, who won, Clinton or Campbell County?
That game was close. I don't know that we got a final on that.
I don't know that we got a final.
Okay.
I'll find it. Let's take a phone call. They're blowing up. Baby. Call, you're on the air.
God, so surprised you moved in tonight after Clinton lost again, bud.
Did Clinton lose to Campbell County?
Yep.
Okay.
Sure did.
What was the final score? I know Clinton was leading. We have a little thing up in the press box at Fulton. It said 24-21 in the third quarter. What was the final?
41-31.
41-31. So at least Clinton scored some points. You had a few things to cheer about tonight, a few touchdowns to celebrate.
No, I wasn't there, but I was in Oliver Springs tonight.
Oh,
The land of Oz.
Land of Oz tonight, buddy. Getting Coalfield.
Queener, what about Oz? They hung in there for a minute, didn't they?
Do what? I didn't hear you.
They hung in there for a minute, didn't they?
Yeah, Oliver Springs shot herself in the foot in the first half a little bit. Missed a couple field goals, had some opportunities, some penalties, put them in those positions to be field goals. Should have scored. Had a chance to really be closer in the first half than actually what it was, but just couldn't overcome the mistakes tonight, guys.
So, David talk to me a little bit about, do you think Cofield, and this time of year, David and I used to always talk playoffs because this is what the season's about, is this postseason run.
Right.
Do you think Cofield is poised enough and is good enough up front on both sides of the ball to go to Greenback and win that football game?
Yeah, if they get some of their kids back, I think the big Kilby kid's out. He was in a walking boot tonight still. Depends on what happens to him. If they get him back, they probably need him. Brad knows better than I do about him, their situation, but they probably need Kilby back for sure. But, yeah, you know, guys, Cofield didn't look too bad tonight. We thought they might come out with a little letdown from the Greenback game, but they came out and they looked pretty sharp tonight. So I don't think there was any letdown. Now, I'd like to see the Kilby guy back because he's a big body, and they're going to need him against Greenback. But Cofield worked on some things tonight. I like, you know, they come out in their little, whatever you want to call it, their Wildcat or whatever you want to call it. They worked on some things tonight, and they look pretty good.
Well, that's good. I know that quarterback's obviously one of the better players to ever wear a Cofield jersey, and it'd be cool to see them make another run to Cookeville.
Guys, I tell you, he makes some throws that they're college throws. He's really the real deal.
Saw him
comment again tonight to Ron Berry. There's some big name schools that's missing out on that young man, but I understand he's happy where he's committed to, but still think there's some big schools that's missing out.
How big of a boy is he? Is he 6'2", 6'3"? How's he line up?
6'3".
I don't know what he is height-wise. He's 6'something. Brad could probably tell you.
6'3" is what Brad just got in my ear.
But he's a good-looking young man back there. I'll say it. And you know he's not playing much defense this year, so they've got him off the defensive side of the ball and just gave strictly on offense right now.
A good deal, why?
But Cox, the big game being next week between Fulton and Oak Ridge. I don't know if the Falcons can beat Oak Ridge next week.
I don't know if they can either. I really don't. I mean, Oak Ridge has been so good in the late 80s, early 90s. I don't know if Fulton can beat them.
What's the late 80s and 90s got to do with it? We're talking about 2017. We're not talking about the 80s or 90s.
I know. That's what I mean.
There's a big difference. There's a big difference in Fulton and Oak Ridge, and you've not really looked at it. When you look at it, if you watch me Wednesday night, I'll predict who's going to win that game, and I'll tell you why. I'm not going to tell you tonight, but I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why on Wednesday night. There's one big, huge difference. But I thought it was funny a while ago when Triple D called in. Here's a guy that, 10 weeks ago when Oak Ridge had lost a game or two, was wanting Gaddis run off. Now Gaddis is the man for him. So, so I don't know, Triple D, he needs to take his medicine.
Hey, David, I know you're a big Gaddis fan, and that's good. And
I am.
And an Oak Ridge fan, and all that good stuff. And I just flat out ask you the question, and I'd ask anybody the question: is Oak Ridge football in a better place right now than when he arrived?
When he arrived?
Yes, in Oak Ridge.
Well, that's a good question. I can't answer that question. I don't know. I don't know if that's a yes or a no. I can't answer that question.
I don't remember watching or listening to much Oak Ridge football when he got here. I don't even know how long he's been here. It's ever since I started the show, I know he was here, and I didn't follow much Oak Ridge football before. That's why I was asking the question. Do you all know? I mean, what was Oak Ridge?
He took over for Blade when Scott Blade was here. Before Blade went to Independence, I believe.
So he was here. So when did Gaddis arrive? Did he arrive in maybe
5 years?
5 years. Okay, he's been here 5 years.
5 years. He's been here. This is his 5th year. He took over for Blade, and Blade goes to Independence, and wins it. I think he's there a couple of years, wins the state championship. So I don't know if we're better off or not, but he's got them playing awful well right now. I mean, they've not had no running game. And when I say no, I mean no running game hardly all year long with the Graham kid being hurt for the biggest part of the year. I think that he came back tonight against Powell, if I heard correctly a while ago. So maybe Oak Ridge gets some things going.
Yeah, well, they're a bigger school. Fulton's supposed to be a 4A school. They're bigger, faster, stronger, better coach. So I just hope the Falcons can hang in there.
You hope the clock's not running.
Yeah. Hope we can keep it close over at Bob Blackfield.
Maybe they can. I think it's going to be a close game. Real close.
Yeah, that's
Come
what
down to one thing, though. You just watch and see.
Well, I hope you tell me Wednesday night what it comes down to.
I heard talking about, once again, Triple D's wanting Butch Jones to go. What if Butch Jones goes on a run after Alabama wins the last 5 games?
Then they're going to be in a predicament, which is why they should have fired him after the Georgia game. It's like they got rid of Les Miles. They didn't give him a chance.
A lot of people seem to think that might be what happens. They lose tomorrow and run 5 in a row. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, I thought we could win out last week with the exception of Alabama, and here we sit today. We hadn't scored a touchdown in 2.5 ball games.
It's 11:09. Call us back at 12. We'll talk college football. I can't wait to see what these boys think about his chances of keeping his job and trying to find a win if you can beat Kentucky at home and if you can beat LSU or Kentucky on the road in a night game and then LSU at home. I don't see any way.
I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, call us back, buddy. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, Chase, Landon Harden with WKNT.
What's up, Landon? Another big win for the Yellow Jackets tonight. I actually got to go to the game. Saw Coach Pankey get fired up a couple times. I enjoy seeing that. Big crowd on hand. Got to see. If you never watched the Kingston Yellow Jacket marching band, I don't know if that's the official name of them, but it's a sight to see. They covered the whole field and just blast over the entire football stadium.
Yeah, they're impressive. Their band, our band's about as big as most college bands, so they do a good job, Mr. Williamson, over there for years. It's been a tradition that's been ongoing in Kingston, and even in our down years in football, we still have that to look forward to. So,
but give us a little bit of recap. It looked like the Matt Spellman show tonight, from what I saw.
Yeah, Matt had a good game on his senior night for the 16 Kingston seniors. Last home game, taking on Pigeon Forge to the win, 30-14. It was a good night. Kingston had a couple of early turnovers there, 2 interceptions. Probably not Brandon Clemens' best night. He'd admit actually played with the flu tonight. A lot of people do not know that, and he suited up anyway. Threw 2 interceptions, but he had some pretty passes too. But a little under the weather, and was able to lead the Jackets to victory. Moved to 7-2 on the year. Next week we're going to be heading to Gatlinburg-Pittman, so we got a long drive next Friday night.
Now, Landon, what's the playoff implications of that game, and what seed are you all looking to have with a win? Can you have a home game?
Well, we're looking like we're going to be the 3 seed in our region. Obviously, behind Austin East and Alcoa are only 2 losses. I'm not for sure. I haven't looked at the numbers. Don't know a lot of the other results. Just got home actually from the stadium, so it looks like we're going to be a lock as a 3, even if we win or lose next week. But we'll probably be traveling to Northeast Tennessee, and what I heard, don't know how accurate this is, but maybe a Johnson County or a Unicoi County, one of those teams. So we'll have a back-to-back weeks of long, long drives coming up.
Hey, Landon, how closely were y'all watching, or were you paying attention to the Austin East Northview game tonight? Would that have had any implications if Northview would have been able to come up with the victory?
Well, if they had it and Alcoa beat Austin East and we won out, we'd have been tied with 2 losses and they'd have had the tiebreaker on us because they beat us heads up.
Okay.
So we'd still been a 3 anyway. So pretty much Kingston's going to be a 3 seed, an 8-2 3 seed, and probably going to be a favored road team in the playoffs. Actually, it's kind of unique, but that's how our Region 2-3A is. It's got 2 very, very good talented teams, and then Kingston's right there, talented as well. Going to be probably one of the stronger 3 seeds you'll see.
Landon, are you, if you win that first game, do you get an invite over to Gary Rankin and Tornadoes?
Most likely, that's how it's going to line up, how they do it.
Okay.
It's kind of unfortunate that if we were the 4 seed and went on the road and won, we would actually have an easier second round game because we'd probably get Austin East at their place. So,
well, that's not an easy draw, but it's better than
Austin East
Alcoa.
beat Alcoa next week, which would be a huge upset. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure how likely that is, but
yeah. Landon, I've watched Austin East play in person for 3 quarters, and they're not going to beat Alcoa.
no, I don't think so either. And of course, Kingston hung with them, earlier in the year, right there for a half. But Alcoa is just so fast. They've been so deep, and they're Alcoa. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
All right, Landon. Well, hey, good luck next week. Congratulations on a big win, and tell Coach Pankin and the boys keep working hard and go on the road, get a big playoff win.
Absolutely. And Chase, let me real quick, I just want to say one thing. Operation Reach is going to have a golf tournament at Lakeside Golf Course October 28th. All the proceeds from that golf tournament are going to go help the kids for the Operation Reach Christmas program. And they're needing 5 more teams. It's a 4-man best ball scramble at Lakeside. Just contact 376-5397 if you want to enter a team into that. And all the money goes to Operation Reach. That's 376-5397.
And it's $300 a team, correct?
Yes, sir, from what I understand. And be a good time and be for a great cause.
All right. Well,
Make sure Colton Airmore puts a team in that event.
Absolutely. I'll tell him.
Yeah, tell him to spend some of that money.
All right. See you, Landon.
Yeah.
You a golfer?
I play a little golf. I used to play a lot of golf, but I got 3 kids and a new job.
So it happens.
Yeah. So that golf game's went the wrong way. So I know you, Rockwood, Oliver Springs, know about them, and obviously Wartburg. Tell me a little bit about the playoff situation down this way and what's going on. And I'll try to tell you what I know, which little bit I know.
Well,
there has been.
Yeah.
You missed it. I mean, he was giving some big scenarios earlier. Let him run it down for him.
Okay, so
that's what we're about, right? The playoffs.
Yeah. So Sunbright gets beat tonight in a non-region game against Lookout Valley, 29-22. Now the reason why that's important is one of the tiebreakers is overall record. So Sunbright now sits with an overall record of 4-5, with a very winnable game next week against Unaka. Well, Midway sits at 5-4. And Midway plays Oliver Springs next week. Okay, so if Midway beats Oliver Springs, Midway will have the 3 seed in Region 2 Single A. If Midway gets beat by Oliver Springs, then Midway will have that 4 seed. Now what this boiled down to is you'd have a 3-way tie between Harriman, Midway, and Oliver Springs. However, Harriman is mathematically eliminated because they've only got 3 wins on the year or something like that. So
Who's
Harriman.
The first 3 seeds. Who's seed 1 and seed 2?
That would be Greenback and Coalfield.
Greenback, Coalfield. Okay.
So yeah, after that it gets a little chippy. So Midway, I went through all the tiebreakers, and it goes to you've got head-to-head, and those 3 teams beat each other, so that doesn't matter. So then it goes to total wins. Well, that eliminates Harriman, and then you'd have Midway, and you would have Sunbright, and both of them would sit at 5-5 if Sunbright wins next week, and Midway gets beat next week. So you can't go there. Then it would go to how many teams they played with a 500 or better record, and both of them will have played 5 teams with a 500 or better record. So then it goes to victories over teams with a 500 or better record, and it turns out Sunbright has not defeated a team with a 500 or better record, and Midway has. So that would give Midway that 4 seed. So now here's what we know. Sunbright, by losing to Lookout Valley tonight, has eliminated themselves from the playoffs. However, had they defeated Lookout Valley tonight and Midway gets beat by Oliver Springs, then Sunbright would have been that 4 seed and Midway would have been out of the playoffs. But because Sunbright lost that non-region game tonight against Lookout Valley, they are eliminated from the playoffs.
So if Oliver Springs wins against Midway, OS is the 3.
That's right.
And Midway's the 4?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Oliver Springs is in.
Oliver Springs is in.
They're in. Okay.
Whether they win or lose next week.
Win or lose, they're in.
Yeah.
All right.
But it just depends on where they go.
Where they go.
Yeah. So.
See, right now they're going to Jellicoe, who's a 2-2-win team.
Wow.
And then if they could wind up, yeah.
So yeah, like I said, next week's game between Midway and Oliver Springs is important because the winner of that game gets the 3 seed. Well, what do you do when you get the 3 seed? You avoid Cloudland, which is a pretty good team up there. Then everybody else is very beatable. So you think the top 3 seeds in Region 2 Single A are probably going to go to the second round, and then that 4th team probably not, because Cloudland is a pretty decent team up there. So next week's game between Oliver Springs and Midway is very important.
We're gonna have to go to that.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to explain all that over the PA to everybody before the game starts.
It's very. I know it's very, very complicated.
Everybody
There's a lot
good and
goes in.
confused.
But I've researched it. I've gone into it. I'm confident that I'm correct in saying that the winner next week gets the 3 seed and the loser gets the 4 seed.
And you deal in facts only.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you an interesting fact I just got from a guy that watches the show, principal at Anderson County. He just texted me. He played for Larry Kerr, and he said Union County wins their 3rd game tonight.
Yeah.
So they've won 3 games this year. Not sure they've won 3 games in the last 6 years combined. I'd have to do a fact check on that.
Yeah.
I don't really report in fake news. But it's been a while. I know they went 3 or 4 years without winning a game.
So in that case, 3 wins in a year is pretty.
It's pretty good.
They're probably going to erect a statue.
Coach Kerr's got them going the right direction.
Yeah.
If he wasn't in bed, I'd tell him to call us. No, I'm just kidding. I like Larry. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, this is Coach Price from Campbell County.
Hey, Coach Price. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Jonathan, doing good. Just heading home on the bus ride from Clinton.
I got you. Well, at least it's not too far. Could be worse.
No, it's not. That game, I feel like our game lasted forever, which they usually do because we grow it so much. So,
yeah,
it's always nice heading home after a win.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the game tonight. I was trying to watch on the computer there. As I do the PA, I get updates on Coach T, and I noticed y'all were down 24-21 at one point, and you know, I'm sure you're on fall break and you're thinking, oh gosh, we got ourselves in a battle down here. So,
you know, it was we've been on fall break this week. You know, that's never an excuse or anything like that, but we came out really flat. We were actually down 21-0 in the first quarter. And, you know, hats off to Coach McCamey. He did a good job. They came out and ran some stuff we had seen on film. And, you know, they kind of a little wildcat package. And number 8 for them, I forget his name, but he, you know, he broke a 60-yarder, and we drew a pick 6. And I think, another 40-yard touchdown. So we were kind of with our Fulton game last week. We just came out really flat. And next thing you know, we're down 21-0. But I think after that point, we outscored them 41-10. So our kids obviously handled that well and bounced back, and you know, it was fun to see. Sean Markin had just an unbelievable performance for us tonight. I think he ended up with 240 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 1 up for a pick 6. So it was a really good night for him.
yeah, that Markham kid, I got to watch y'all play last week, and obviously y'all didn't get off to the start you wanted. But you know, he's a good football player. You could tell he's a tough kid. When he got hurt last week, you know, just the amount of staff that you all had on the field out there, you can tell he's one of those kids that's fun to coach.
He is.
And y'all got a good football team. You had some tough kids. They competed hard last week. They got off to a bad start and wasn't real sure what hit them.
You know, I think you get off to a bad start against a team like Fulton, it's hard to rebound. And you know, that's not taking away from Clinton, but you know, we were able to put some scoring drives together and get a few stops in the second, third quarter, and you know, but we came out really quick in the second half because Zach, of course, I think he threw for right at 400 yards tonight. Wow. He was just on point. You know, we got to learn to start faster. It's kind of been our issues all year, but hats off to our kids and the way they responded, and but also hats off to Clinton. I mean, I know they're not having the year they want, but you know, their kids are playing hard. Coach McCamey's doing a good job of getting that program in the right direction.
Hey, Matt, tell us a little bit. We're going off playoff scenarios here, and tell us a little bit about the Region 5, or I guess you're in Region 4.
Yeah, we're Region 3, 5A.
Yeah, 3, 5A.
Yeah, Fulton and Oak Ridge will play next week for the region championship. That's for 1 and 2, and then we will play at West for the 3 and 4 spot.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that the loser of our game will play at Catholic. The winner will play at Ray County, and then the 2C, whether it's Fulton Oak Ridge, one of them will have Lenore City, and the other one will probably have Scotty Gate. So, our region matches up with another tough region. So, I mean, I think those first round, second round games will be fun to watch in 5A.
Well, I'll tell you this, Matt. We've got our lines lighting up here, but the nose guard that dominates the line of scrimmage for West got hurt tonight.
Oh, well, yeah, he's a good player.
He is.
Hopefully that's not bad, because, I mean, you never want to hear that.
No.
But he is really
This kid changed the dynamic. He changed the dynamics of that football game. In the first half, Fulton could not run the football. They had to play quick slants and quick outs as the only option they had. He goes out in the second quarter, and it's like all of a sudden we could run it and do whatever we want to do.
He's a good player.
Man, he's a good player. He has to be getting recruited to play college football. That kid's a stud.
Is he big and clogging up space, or is he small, shooting the gaps? Is he doing it all?
He's 5'11", 6 foot. He's 280 pounds, and he's athletic. I mean, there's not else.
I appreciate y'all having us on the line. Like I said, we're 7-2 right now and got a big game next week at West, so hopefully we can, those playoff seedings are always important this time of year.
Well, good luck. Finish 8-2, and good luck. Safe travels home, and take care.
I appreciate it.
All right, see you, bud.
Bye.
Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, this is Coach Gillum from Harrison County.
Coach Gillum, how you doing?
All right, how you doing?
Good. We don't get to hear much or see much about your football games unless we get to talk to you. I know you're in a totally different area, Coach. So fill us in on what happened at East Hamilton tonight. I know at one time it might have been 14-7 or 21-7. Fill us in on what happened down there tonight.
We didn't play particularly clean offensively early. 7 points they got was on a kickoff return. They just didn't set it up very well, and they got some good athletes, and they took one back. But defense played lights out. I think they only had 69 yards total offense for the whole night. Negative yards in rushing. I think late in the second half, they got a running back on a wheel route. We busted the coverage on for their other score, but really, other than that one play, they struggled to move the ball at all. Defense really played well. We got a couple of turnovers on defense too, a couple of interceptions, one on a screenplay by Marquis Gallagher, another one by Mike Carroll on a deep ball. So really, we got some things we could clean up a little bit on defense in that game, but defense was locked out. Offense was, we made some plays in the first half, but we played a little bit sloppy. Probably the most human we've looked all season offensively in the first half. Missed a few throws we normally don't miss. Had a couple of touchdown drops. Had a couple of touchdown misses that we've just not missed those all year. Whether it be a drop or on the cue, either way, we've been close to perfect over there. And may have been nerves, and they just, he's bound to have a off game eventually. And then made a few corrections at halftime. Really, the route was on. O-line blocked a lot better second half. The running backs ran hard. We had really the route was on. After that, the only thing that slowed us down is we had a turnover on a punt return. Once it gave them another possession, but Stanton was back on the money, and receivers catching the ball and winning their one-on-one. So it was really just second half we played more like us, and score got in hand pretty quick once we cleaned it up.
Davey, did I read today or yesterday that maybe Stanton Martin was up for a finalist for Mr. Football?
Yes, the way that goes is coaches and media have to nominate and vote for him, but there's been nobody in 4A football from Johnson City to Memphis have a better year than Stanton had. And, it's a shame that if you don't get the right media support, he could still get left out of that award. But he's had one of the most dominant years in high school football that I've seen in my lifetime.
Davey, it's sad the lack of coverage that our area is getting right now from the new Sentinel, compared to what it has been for the last 8 to 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. I'd heard they got bought out by USA Today.
They did. They got bought out by Gannett. Yep.
But they're definitely doing a disservice to the kids that are playing high school football right now. And I don't even know anybody that's ever got the News Sentinel for anything else other than the prep extra insert on Saturday morning, and now there's no need to even get it. So I don't understand their marketing strategy in that, but it is hurting us a little with kids like Stanton, especially with us playing in Chattanooga a lot, not getting the coverage, but Stanton's numbers are better than anybody's, and what people don't know, because how little they see us and the little coverage we get, is he's only played 2 quarters most games we played this year. If we'd have just let him throw and run scores up, we could have scored 100 in most of our games, and Stanton could have thrown for 700, 800, 900 yards in some of our games, and we called it off at halftime. So
now, Davey, I think one thing that I hear you say every week, which is really cool, is your offense everybody hears about and knows about, and they talk about it. But the defense, the defense is having a pretty good year when you start looking at how many points you've given up over the course of the year, especially for your defensive coordinator.
Oh yeah, well, you're right. Defense, I was telling you, played lights out tonight, but we've not had a game that haven't played lights out. One game left to play in regular season, and we take care of business. We'll have the first undefeated season in Anderson County history. We're going to have statistically the best offense in Anderson County history. Quarterback-wise, he's going to put up the best numbers in Anderson County history. But then defensively, we're going to have the best defense in Anderson County history, statistically. But these kids, Coach Chavez done a phenomenal job, and we never go into a game unprepared, and winning the schematical battle, the coaching battle on the defense side of the ball. But it's also a testament to these kids, because they're the same kids playing O&D. These are good kids, great football players. They take coaching. What John's asking them to do on defense ain't easy. It ain't simple. A lot of these guys have been in the system now for 3 years, and they're executing it pretty well. Trying to have a fun time to be in Anderson County.
Absolutely. Well, man, we're proud of you. Keep it up. That 10-0 is pretty close, and then I guess you got round 1 of the playoffs. You probably haven't figured it out, but then round 2 and round 3 is going to be 2 tough battles that will test you, and I know you won't be out-coached, out-charactered, so coach those kids up and take Anderson County to Cook. Well, that'll be a fun run.
Yeah, we'll have a shot. Those are we should have Granger first round, and then Elizabethton, and then Greenville. And Elizabeth and Greenville are really the high level of football being played in 4A football right now in the state of Tennessee. So eastern side of that state championship game probably gets played out there in those second, third rounds between us 3 teams. What we've seen on field, both of those games should be really good games. Nothing's guaranteed there. Those are, especially Greenville, are a really good team, but we'll definitely have a chance to win that game.
Coach, good luck to you. Safe travels back, and I hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it, John.
See you, man.
Another big 63-14.
63-14.
Yeah. Anderson County averaging 52.9 points per game and giving up 10.9 points per game.
And
52.7 points per game and giving up 10.9 per game. That's a big differential.
And I like Davey, and I give the defense coordinator a hard time. He was one of my best friends growing up. But what they've done, this is a coach and staff right here that's missed the playoffs the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So something's.
Well, I mean, I think, you've played a lot of young kids the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's funny what confidence does.
Yeah.
You think you're going to win, you go out there and you have fun, you compete, and you got confidence. Oliver Springs is a prime example of that of late. I mean, they played a really good Coalfield team, but, they've coached their kids up. They've got them playing better. Now they're guaranteed the playoffs.
After being 0-5.
After being 0-5.
Confidence is hard to come by when you're 0-5.
I mean, you're talking about if you lay it down and mail it in with 5 games left in your season. So that could be a really cool story if Anderson County goes to be 10-0 and makes a run in those playoffs.
Yeah, especially because you talk about that second round game and that third round game are definitely going to be very tough. I mean, that's probably, when you're looking at, regardless of classification, the most difficult second and third round games anyone could get. So, but I said it last week. I'll say it again. Like Ric Flair said, to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Yep. And that's where Greenville is.
Yeah.
That's where Greenville is. I watched Anderson County play Greenville. And I know it's totally different teams, totally different outcomes, and everything else. But I watched Greenville physically manhandle Anderson County last year, the first game of the year. It was so bad I left at halftime.
Yeah.
But it's a different Anderson County team. Confidence level's different.
That's right.
And I'm telling you, that the second round game against Elizabethton is scary for me, for those guys, because they've been hearing about Greenville all year.
Yeah.
Elizabethton's a good team, but Anderson County that place will be packed
rocking
on that Friday night.
Yeah.
You talk about two communities that come together to support their little county school, it will be rocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So, looking forward to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think you're gonna have some rematches, Coalfield and Greenville, or Crowfield and Greenback.
Greenback.
You look like Anderson County's gonna have 2 or 3 games. Oak Ridge is probably gonna win their first round game, and then they'll probably have a Catholic second round. So we'll have some teams playing 2 or 3 weeks in the playoffs here.
For sure.
And
what's discouraging is when you have one of your better years like at Kingston, and you're just playing to see who plays Alcoa.
That's
in our better years of playing high school, we were 8-2, 2 losses to Alcoa. So it's almost like, yeah, we're doing good. Oh, we got
That's
it's
brutal.
just it's discouraging.
That's
so.
brutal. Go ahead, caller, you're on the air.
Hey guys, this is Jesse Fitty. How are you?
Bow my head in honor.
Who are you?
This is John Groot.
Never heard of her.
Yeah. Hey, we talked about this a minute ago, and Davey Gillum brought this up on the air. I want you to sort of fill everyone in here. He was talking about the importance of having good media coverage for a guy that's looking to win Mr. Football like Stanton Martin's been nominated for. Go through that in your time frame of working under the Prep Extra umbrella with the New Sentinel, and how all that plays out. You know, I was fortunate enough to coach Jalen Steele in basketball, and he was Mr. Basketball. And I can remember there was a brochure out on Jalen. That's how.
Really?
So, yeah, I mean, it's just like coaching. You need a lot of continuity on your newspaper staff to really benefit your kids from whatever area that you're living in. When I did my preseason Mr. Football predictions for PrepWeekly.com, I intentionally left off a lot of Knoxville kids just because the Knoxville seat on the Mr. Football committee, there'd be a new person filling that. And, she was coming in kind of without going through all the summer prep and not really knowing who all the top athletes are. And so when she goes to pitch, a kid from Knoxville in that committee, who all believes her, not because she's a woman, but because she's new. And so they're going to tend to maybe favor kids from other areas maybe instead. And so that could possibly hurt a Stanton Martin or a Cade Ballard over in Greenville, a Morgan Ernst at Webb School, who just had an unbelievable year. And so we'll see if it has an impact. I know the Anderson County faithful are sending out documents on Stanton Martin about his accomplishments, and I encourage them to do that as well as many others did. So we'll see. I honestly think, though, Stanton Martin's got enough name recognition now from what he's done this year that he will at least be one of the 5 finalists that they name in the preliminary rounds here in a couple of weeks.
Hey, Jesse, take us through the importance of having, and I say a big name commitment under your name and under your resume when you win one of these Mr. Footballs or Mr. Basketballs. It's pretty important to have that college underneath that resume, isn't it?
Most of the time, yes, especially when there's, say, 4 or 5 guys, and it's hard to differentiate who's the better player. They all have fantastic stats. They're all, their measurables seem to be the same. Well, inevitably something's got to be a tiebreaker, and oftentimes your college recruits are going to get favored or lean towards a little bit more than your guys who are maybe headed towards your Division II, Division III schools. So is that fair? Not always. But again, we're talking about high school football here, not college, where voters in East Tennessee don't get to watch the kids on TV over in Memphis or in Nashville. And so we really rely on every bit of information that we can possibly get our hands on. And sometimes that comes down to who's a 4-star to 5-star and who's got SEC offers and who's going to 1AA.
Jesse, Stanton Martin's people may want to consult with Charles Woodson's people on how to make one big final push to win that.
Well, again, I still think it comes down to him and Cade Ballard. Anderson County and Greenville have been the top two or so, 2 out of 3 front runners, top the state polls all season long. And there's something to be said for that. They're both going to be undefeated, and I think it'll come down to those 2 guys.
Hey, Jesse, is that vote turned in? At what point is the Mr. Football voting turned in? Is that after that Anderson County Greenville game, or is that before?
So the way they used to do it, again, I'm not on the committee anymore, but the way they used to do it, they would send a ballot out to all the statewide media, all the statewide football coaches. And so you would turn in your top 3 guys in every classification for Mr. Football back and Mr. Football line. Of course, they're not doing that format anymore as far as splitting the 2, but and then you would send those in, and the TSSAA would compile all the results into one grand list per classification. And then the Mr. Football Committee would come in probably the second week in November, second week in November, and look at all those totals. You know, there'd be kind of a cutoff point as to who we're going to debate about, who we're going to talk about. And every now and then there's a kid that is overlooked, and we can bring him up if we feel that it was necessary. But really, that preliminary round of votes kind of gives you a good outline, and then the committee, which is 10 to 12 members strong, goes through each of those players, and the media member who's from that person's region will go over and present the guy, telling what's good, what's bad, stats, college information. They might even look at film sometimes. So, and then once the committee members cast their votes, and that's who wins. It's a blind vote. The committee members don't know who wins until the TSSAA announces those. So it's the votes are really cast at the end of the regular season by statewide media and coaches, and then a few days after that, the Mr. Football Committee will cast their final votes based off of those preliminary votes.
That's really good, detailed information right there.
That's what you expect from Jesse Smith.
So, Jesse, playoff scenarios becoming a little bit more clear. What stands out to you after tonight's games?
Well, one of the big things that happened tonight was Jefferson County upset Science Hill, and nobody saw that coming because Jefferson County was 0-4 in region play, and Science Hill was one of the better teams in 6A, or so we thought. And Elijah Dial, a defensive back for Jefferson County, picked off Jalen Adams 3 times tonight. And Spencer Riley, the former UT lineman, now coach at Jefferson County, got a huge building block win for his program. And what happened with that pretty much assured Farragut a home playoff spot in the first couple rounds at least. They'll still need to win next week against Hard Valley to keep vying for a potential outright region championship. They'll need Dobbins Bennett to lose, of course. But and also Fulton and Oak Ridge position themselves to play each other for a region championship next week. Halls High School kind of cemented itself as a 1 seed. They'll have to beat 0-9 Seymour next week. And Halls, what a crazy turnaround they've had. They were 1-4 at one time this year, and J.D. Overton has that team in line to win a region championship. Just unheard of kind of turnaround in one season when it looked like the Red Devils were in kind of one of those rebuild years.
Yeah, at the first of the season, Halls played Powell, and I think we had somebody call in that said those are 2 very unimpressive football teams, and so
right.
to see the season that Halls has had to turn that around. I want to ask you a question about you're talking quarterbacks, you're talking Stanton Martin and the publicity that he needs and college commitments and all. We had a caller call in tonight. Actually, it's the guy that does play-by-play for this station that said he saw Parker McKinney play tonight, and he's surprised that some bigger schools haven't called knocking on Parker McKinney's door. How come? Why do you think that is? Do you think some schools are just overlooking him because he goes to a school like Coalfield?
I definitely do. Playing 1A football can sometimes be be a detriment, especially to a position like a quarterback position. Your speed of your linebackers, your speed of your defensive backs is not going to mirror anything like what he's going to see on the college level. For an offensive lineman like Zach Stewart, I think you can play 1A football and still impress enough in the camp, which he did, to warrant that Tennessee offer. And ultimately he committed to Tennessee. I wish he still would have gone there. I think he would have helped his line out tremendously this year, but that's another topic for another show. But when you're playing quarterback on the 1A level, you just got to be super, super special to go ahead and warrant those big-time SEC offers. And I think Parker's going to a nice program at EKU, and they're headed up by former Tennessee assistant coach, and I think that's a nice landing spot for him.
Hey, Jesse, we talk about small schools and how sometimes that can be a detriment. Do you think that Brant Mitchell at Georgia Tech, did it benefit him going from a single A school, Rockwood, to a private school, maybe a more well-known school like Webb?
I think that if I remember correctly, the big thing with Brant was that he performed well in some of these camps that are on campus at big-time schools. I remember him going over to Tennessee and getting an offer, and he also played alongside Todd Kelly Jr., which a lot of eyes were on him as well and got him noticed.
Awesome. Hey, I was scrolling through Twitter, through all the groomers, and saw you retweeted a story about an Ohio State football commitment, and his brother missed the game tonight at Franklin. Do you know anything about that?
I don't really know what's going on. Franklin has really struggled this year, and there's a team that they're not supposed to be struggling that bad, and they might have only won one game this year. And Max Ray is the guy that I picked to win Mr. Football, and he's not even going to come close to that. He and his brother were not on the field for Franklin tonight, and his father had to put out a statement. They said they were all at the game as a family watching and cheering on Franklin, but something has happened between the school administration and that family that kept the Ray brothers off the field tonight. So just a little bit of drama there in the mid-state. It's not going to really impact a playoff team or anybody's playoff picture, but it makes a big splash because Mac Ray is a big name in Middle Tennessee, and like you said, he's an Ohio State commitment and somebody that could possibly win Mr. Football, and it looks like that could definitely be the final nail in the coffin of him not winning Mr. Football.
If I'm the recruiting coordinator from Ohio State, I'm making a phone call to find out what kind of kid I've got coming to me not playing a high school football game.
Well, Jesse, somebody tweets the story out, Tom Krieger. Chris Eakes retweets it and quotes it and says, "This is bad. If the story I heard is indeed what happened, this thing has legs." So obviously there's some juice behind it that we all aren't privy to, but I'm sure that'll get out.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll come out in the coming days. Tom Krieger is somebody that I know in the mid-state. He's a bulldog when it comes to reporting news and gets his juices flowing a lot when stuff like this happens. So you'll see the layers of the onion peeled back on this story in the coming days, I'm sure.
Well, Jay, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week, talk playoff scenario, and big game at Fulton Oak Ridge next week that obviously Fulton's excited about. And, this is the best time of the year when it comes to football time, week 10 and then the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be able to look at those playoff projections and really already get a feel of who's going to be playing whom in the first round of the playoffs, and that's when it gets really exciting.
Does Tennessee cover tomorrow?
That hesitation's all you need to know, right? Man, I would say yes, but I just don't know. That would be a game that I would just stay away from altogether if I was a betting man.
You would like to think that anybody could cover with 36.5 points.
It's Butch Jones.
Right.
But
sometimes Alabama doesn't cover those big spreads, especially against your middle of the road teams. But just from reports that I've heard and read this week that say that Saban's got them pretty wired up and fired up down there this week, you got to think they're going to make life hard on Jarrett Garantano.
Yep.
Hey,
Jesse,
any truth that you had an exclusive one-on-one interview with John Gruden last week, and that's why we missed you on the show?
I was trying to call in, and I just figured y'all were talking to him already, so I figured he was going to open up for me. But I just couldn't get through the line. When you secure an interview with John Gruden, I understand why y'all didn't want to bring me on, or big time.
Go to AmericanAirlines.com. You can get beside him on a plane.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah,
See
you got the source right there on the chat with
you. See you, buddy.
See ya.
I guess we can go and talk college football. That sort of leads us into it.
Well, let's run down Rockwood's playoff scenario real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Real quick.
Even though you never wear your green.
Never wore my. I'm full Gruden. I had to wear my orange tonight. I knew we were going to secure an easy win tonight. So, Megs is the 1. Right now, Rockwood sits at the 2. Oneida's the 3. Rockwood beat Oneida, and Cumberland Gap the 4. Rockwood finishes up their season next week against Cumberland Gap, and will either be the 2 seed or the 4 seed. So if they win, they're going to host a home game. If they lose, they'll be the 4. They'll travel.
That's wild how that works. So Rockwood gets the head-to-head against Oneida. So you think, okay, they're going to win that. But if Cumberland Gap can knock off Rockwood, they'd have the same region record as Oneida and Rockwood. Therefore, you have to go to the tiebreakers. The first tiebreakers overall wins, and then I mean, it's just wild how that happens.
But so, no way we can be the 3.
So to push on into, and we'll go to commercials as soon as we talk about this. Kingston's playoff scenario is pretty plain and simple.
Yeah, pretty set.
They're the 3 seed. They're probably going to go win the first round game, and at least they would think they're going to win that game, and then go to Alcoa and play Alcoa, unless AE upsets Alcoa. I've been wrong before. Chris Hunter is a good football player at quarterback for AE.
Yep.
I've watched him, but up front, I think Alcoa physically just wears them down. AE is going to be happy. If they come out hot, they'll stay happy, but I think you probably got to think Alcoa there. And then the Greenville Elizabethan, I think, is definitely probably the most interesting thing for Anderson County fans, because you're going to play Greenville Elizabethan in the playoffs. Anderson County obviously has got theirs one, and we don't have anybody else in the area to cover on that. Oak Ridge Fulton's for the championship.
Yep.
And then you heard Coach Price say that whoever wins the West Campbell County game is the 3 seed. Whoever loses the 4 seed. Whoever loses is going to go play Catholic, which is not what you want.
No.
So Campbell County next week traveling to West is a must-win for them to get a chance to win a first-round game.
To not play Catholic.
Yeah. We're not even going to talk about them because they're playing in the wrong division. So we're skipping right over them in 5A. And then I guess at the 6A, man, I wish I'd asked Jesse this. So Farragut lost to DB. Is that right? But with Farragut winning over Hardin Valley, they get the 1 seed. I wonder, since they're Region 1, do they host Maryville when they play on down the line, if they do play on down the line?
That would be correct, yeah.
So, because odd twos are going, odd number year. So that's interesting. Farragut could host a playoff game in the 3rd round against Maryville at Farragut. And I promise you that will be a better game than it would have been in the past. That Maryville team beat Fulton, and I watched that game, and Fulton turns it over 3 times inside the 20. They've still got the air about them,
right?
The winning culture,
Yeah.
but they don't have that swagger,
right?
That they look better than you at every position,
right?
So that's going to be interesting. That Farragut Maryville, if that happens, Farragut's, and my buddy might be calling in soon, but they are known to fade in the postseason outside of last year. So you never know there. And then, that pretty much sort of sets up Week 10 in the playoffs. So, you want to take us to commercial?
You want to take a call? You want to take a commercial?
Let's
take a call real quick. We'll hit a break. Caller, go ahead.
Bush Jones ain't going to be gone this year.
Do what?
Bush, he ain't going nowhere this year. At least till the end of the season.
Okay. I about had the big one.
The AD don't want to change quarterback, change head coaches.
I've heard he's got till Kentucky. But I've also read that Curry doesn't want to get rid of him in the middle of the season either.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. That's AD.
So
Butch Jones will not be the football coach at Tennessee next season.
Nope.
What do you think they pulled the trigger on?
Lose about 6 games in a row.
No, and David talked earlier, and David would probably call back in for the college hour because he loves college football like he does high school football. But I don't think if he wins out after he loses to Bama, it's not, hey, your record is this, you went to a bowl game. It's you are falling more and more behind Georgia and Alabama. The separation is there. A guy told me this.
Tennessee ain't going to beat Bama. Tennessee's going to get beat by 45.
Well, I hope you call Vegas on that and make some money.
Well, you go right ahead and do it.
I want you to.
Well, if I had the money, I would. I'd bounce all over it. But y'all have a good night.
All right, brother.
I appreciate you watching.
Yeah.
All right, let's catch a quick break. We'll come right back. This is BBB Friday Night Scoreboard, brought to you by Mulch & More. We'll be right back.
Get yourself unchained from large pharmacies. Shop and support your local independent pharmacies in our hometowns. In Kingston, shop Kinzer Drugs. In Harriman, shop Chase Drugs. And in Rockwood, Live and Let Live Drugstore. Keep our money local to help our community. Your independent pharmacies help support local high school sports, local civic groups, little leagues, marching bands, annual staffs, yearbooks, and other school clubs and activities. Remember, in Harriman, shop Chase Drugs. In Kingston, visit Kinzer Drugs. And in Rockwood, Live and Let Live Drugstore. The next time you have prescription need, try your local hometown independent pharmacy. We were here for you before the chains, and we're here for you now. In Kingston, Kinzer Drugs. In Harriman, Chase Drugs. And in Rockwood, support Live and Let Live Drugstore. Be sure to spend your dollars locally. And please support our young people of today, because they will be our leaders tomorrow.
If you didn't buy your rugs at Hammers, you paid too much.
Hammers buyers search the South's rug markets every month for special deals on area and room size rugs, like these in traditional, oriental, and contemporary designs. Choose from high quality heat set rugs, olefins or wool. Plus, there's always a special selection of kitchen and bathroom rugs for $288. Remember,
Don't pay too much. Buy your rugs at Hammers.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We built our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
The Harriman Utility Board provides electric, gas, water, and sewer services for the city of Harriman, as well as most of Roane and Morgan counties. Recent major projects include an upgrade of our 161 kilovolt electric substation. Another ongoing project is the rehabilitation of an antiquated sewer system, including an upgrade of our wastewater treatment plant. These projects will improve the quality and reliability of these services and meet state and federal requirements. For more information, visit our website at hub-tn.com or call us at 865-882-3242.
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
It's time to look closer to home and energize America with fuel made in America. Natural gas is a cleaner, safer, more efficient, and more affordable energy choice. ORUD is your family's comfort provider. Natural gas is the responsible choice for your family, your wallet, and the environment. Gas is a great value, but it is also the best way to cook, heat your water, and warm your home. If you want the best for less, switch your house to natural gas.
Mulch & More in Midtown is your landscaping headquarters. Mulch & More offers mulch, the best topsoil in the area. All types of gravel, sand, pea gravel, either loose or in bags, creek rock, river rock, field stone, mountain mist stone, railroad cross ties, straw bales, fence posts, farm gates, and much more. Mulch & More offers backhoe and dump truck service. And Mulch & More can also demolish a house or building on your property, and they'll haul it off for you. Give Gary a call today at 865-740-5229 for Mulch & More in Midtown.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. College Football Hour. Here we are. I'm Chase Clem alongside Johnathon Cox and Aaron Harvey. This is the Mulch and More Friday Night Scoreboard. Aaron, give us a little rundown about Mulch and More.
Oh, my gosh. They got straw bales. They've got fence gates.
Fence gates?
Yeah, fence gates, farm gates, I guess is what I should say, and fence posts. They got those farm gates.
They got it all.
They do. Straw bales. They've got the best topsoil in the area. And running a special right now, you can get the mulch for $10 a scoop. That's a really good deal. Located in Midtown, all you got to do is give Gary a call at phone number 865-740-5229.
Ask for the Mountain Mist Stone. Tell him Chase sent you.
Yeah, he
we
loves
were talking
that
earlier. I saw him in action today. I saw Mulch and More in action right across from the Rockwood Community Center. They're tearing down a house, hauling it off. So it's not all, we're just not reading something. We're out there seeing it.
That's
Mulch
right.
and More, give Gary a call today.
That's
now,
awesome.
on to more important things, groomers. In the UT coaching search. Who's it going to be, Johnathon?
Well, I mean, I think there will be a coaching change next year to start the season. Or we'll have a new coach next year to start the season. I don't think that, and I was going to say this earlier when he was on the phone, I think if you look at the program and how far behind we are from where Kirby Smarts took Georgia so fast, and somehow Michael Wayne has played in, 2 SEC East championships?
Yeah.
The SEC has been bad.
Yeah.
Butch is getting worse, and the gap is getting larger. I had a guy tell me the other day, we're 2 plays away from being 5-1. We got beat on a Hail Mary by Florida. I said, I've never seen somebody catch a Hail Mary in stride.
Yeah.
Don't give me no Hail Mary business.
Yeah.
All right?
It's not a
If
Hail
that's the case, we can go back and say we could have only won one of our last, so many SEC games because we caught a Hail Mary against Georgia.
Right.
But I don't see any way that Butch Jones, and we'll take this call in a second because I want to hear what y'all say. Nobody can tell me that his buyout is $9.some million and his assistants are all this. That's garbage. Tennessee makes so much money with their football program. They are losing money by keeping the guy.
I agree. Yeah, and that's what I've said on the show is that ultimately it's a business. And I think Butch stays as long as he has fan support. But when you start getting stadiums that aren't completely full, the South Carolina game, did you notice the student section was almost completely empty? When that starts happening, it hurts business. And when it hurts business, you have to make a change.
I worked outside the entire day, and I called a little bit on the radio. But
I didn't get that.
Did I hear this right? Like third and fourth quarter, the crowd just sort of left?
Yeah, they were leaving.
At a 9-6 game or whatever the score was there late in the game. I heard it was a pretty good crowd to start the game, but I heard in the third and fourth quarter there was a ton of people that left.
Yeah. And it wasn't 102-455 either to start the game, I'll tell you that.
About 99.
Yeah, I would say, somewhere in that
But
area.
is it not amazing that 90,000+ people would show up to watch that debacle?
Yeah, you hear and you see different medias, people say, well, your fans are going to cause your coaches to leave, to want to be here, the recruits, and you talk about how bad they are. But at the end of the day, they pack out Neyland Stadium with 95,000 people.
Yeah.
So, and I think it also becomes it's a running joke now. If you haven't seen it on Twitter, Fire Butch Jones signs are showing up at Preds games. There's a high school, I saw it on Twitter, a high school student section, Fire Butch Jones chants. And
it was against Catholic in the state championship. That's even better. That team that played Catholic today in the state championship for volleyball, Butch's kids or whatever, I think one of them, they might still go to Catholic. I don't know. I don't keep up with the guy. He's dead to me. But they had a big sign over there that said Fire Butch Jones.
Yeah, it was.
That's classic.
And it's everywhere. I tweeted. You follow Marlins Man?
No.
The guy that goes to all the baseball games and sits behind Marlins. I said Marlins Man needs Fire Butch Jones sign at the World Series, but. At the end of the day, he's 8-4, 8-4, 7-5, and it's just not good enough, to put it as nice as I can put it. So I don't know if he makes it through the season. I don't think John Curry wants to fire him, but I think his hand's about going to be forced to.
Does John Curry not want to fire him because he just don't want to fire him in the middle of the season, or John Curry don't want to fire him because he don't want to name an interim coach of a Brady or a
former who he helped get rid of. I mean, you got to realize the guy that's over there right now is our AD helped get rid of the legend that we took for granted.
Yeah.
You talking about a decade of dominance?
Yeah.
You know, that video or whatever. I mean, that guy, you know, Curry was on one of those over football operations. They helped him get rid of it.
Yeah.
So
Can you? Is there an instance where you can see Philip Fulmer being an interim?
Well, I don't know. I mean, what was it, Barry Alvarez?
Who?
For Wisconsin that come back and was the interim coach when they fired somebody. He was the AD and named himself the interim.
Right,
Which, but, I mean, he was a legend there. He could do whatever he wanted.
Right, yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know. Do you think they just get – is it Brady Hoke? Is that his
Brady
name?
Hoke.
Brady Hoke,
I mean, or do you give it to –
You've got Hoke, who's been a head coach. Canals has been a head coach. I think Larry Scott's been a head coach. There's 4 or 5 of them.
Larry Scott was the interim at Miami.
Interim at Miami.
Yeah.
There's 4 or 5 head coaches or coaches that have been head coaches before.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really good staff, honestly. I mean, it really is.
They're putting a heck of a product on the field, too.
Yeah. So, here's the thing, though. You said 8-4 is not good enough. It doesn't matter if 8-4 is good enough. That's irrelevant. What matters is, like I said, do the fans think 8-4 is good enough? Because if they don't, you got problems.
You don't have butts in seats. Tennessee is one of the biggest revenue schools. I saw a chart.
Try number 1 in 2016.
Yeah.
Number 1 revenue, but yet we spend the least, one of the least in the SEC.
Yeah.
If we're bringing in, well, I think I saw we spent $26 million in expenses, and Alabama's was near double that, what they're spending on their football program.
Yeah.
I was in Nashville this week for a couple days, and Kirby Smart, have y'all heard this rant he went on about, they asked him, where do you see the program going? You know, you've got to number whatever he's ranked in the country right now. And he said, we cannot be dominant in this league with the resources I have.
Wow.
That's Georgia football.
Call them out.
I mean, he's been in Alabama.
Yeah.
And he told the guys, I know what good looks like, and we're not there.
Wow.
And I guess when you're sitting in his shoes and went to Notre Dame and won, just pound UT, got Florida coming up tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Now they got Florida coming up. No, they're off. Georgia's off. They got Florida the next week.
Yeah.
You know, he wins that game. He's going to the SEC, and he's coming out with, we don't have what we need resource-wise.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy.
Not a, well, we're taking strides, and this has been one of the best years ever in life.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But do you think people would hate Butch less? And I guess we don't have any calls. We can head home. I know we all got stuff to do tomorrow. But do you think Butch is hated more because of some of his cliche sayings and leadership reps and eye discipline and all this stuff that you hear from him?
I don't think that stuff matters if you win, you know. Nick Saban's the biggest jerk in the world, but he wins, so people can, they're like, oh, yeah, I love that he's a jerk. But if he was losing games and he was a jerk, Derek Dooley, you know, people aren't going to put up with that. And so I think what really matters is you see Urban Meyer's not at Florida anymore, but yet Florida's still going to the SEC championship game, and that's a really sour taste, especially last year when you beat Florida and Georgia. I think
and lose South Carolina and Vandy.
And to be honest with you, if Tennessee does hold off Florida this year, I think the perception of Butch is a lot different this year. But losing that game, the way that they lost it, it made a lot of fans mad. And you got a passionate fan base here in Knoxville and the entire state of Tennessee. And when they get fired up, that's all she wrote.
Mm-hmm. I think they come at a bad time. When you lose, you don't want to hear, well, blah, blah, leadership reps.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you're winning, you jokingly laugh at it, and you're walking down the hall, hey, get your leadership reps in today, bud.
Yeah, or you might even say, oh, gosh, we need leadership reps.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're doing, and they're winning. So, I mean, that's really important. You take it completely differently if you're winning.
And, and I think he's owned up to a lot more as of late.
Yeah.
He must have people in his ear saying, hey, just say it's not good enough and it's my fault. That's what people have been wanting him to say this whole time.
Yeah.
And there's no way there's problems if he is the coach next year.
So we all agree that we need a new football coach and we need a new direction. Do you think
that they go after and offer a personality like Gruden, a coach like Gruden, or do you think that they go to a Bob Stoops, or do you think, and I don't really think this at all, I don't know why I'm going to ask this, but I guess because my buddies keep sending me these texts and it says, bring back Lane. I mean, is there a chance that Lane Kiffin, I mean, where do you think Tennessee goes? From everything you're reading and everything you want to believe to what you really think going to happen, where do you think Tennessee goes?
I think John Curry does a disservice. He's not doing his job if Gruden doesn't tell him no, Chip Kelly doesn't tell him no, Bob Stoops doesn't tell him no.
I agree.
And then we go from there.
I agree. Yeah.
You know, and if you wind up with a Bobo, with a Brom or a Frost, or you know that, and it might be John Adams or Jimmy Hyams one. Tennessee, everybody, there's a perception that Tennessee goes on the cheap, but I think he says in the past we've been willing to pony up, but why would you have paid Butch Jones $6 million when you could get him for 2 or 3?
Yeah, I'll say this before we take this call. I think Butch, the only positive I can give him, I think Butch did a better job recruiting than Dooley, so there's more players here to now that makes it a more interesting job than it was when Butch took it.
I completely agree.
I think he's got a little more talent.
Yeah.
But if you can't recruit at UT, you ain't doing anything. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Chase, you and Aaron, this is Triple D once again.
Hey, Triple D, you got somebody else on the set now. My name is Jonathan, and I do the Fulton PA, and I want you to come by and introduce yourself next week at the Oak Ridge Fulton game.
Yeah, well, I'll try to do that if I can. If I get somebody to roll me in, like I say, I'll be inclined to do that. I'll be more glad to do it.
I'll tell you what, if you can get somebody to get you the game, I'll get you in the game. How's that sound?
That'll be all right. That'll be all right. I just love y'all show. I just want to say about Butch Jones and what they got to lose, Tennessee, of just getting rid of him now. You know, they ain't got nothing to lose. I mean, you know, he done about as good as he'll do, and there's too many coaches out there that's credible, that legit, and that would do a better than average job. You know, Butch Jones, you know, he like I say, he talks a good game, and he done recruited some good guys, but you got to coach up nowadays. Whether you're in high school or you're in college, you got to coach up. You can't regress. You got to progress. And if you regressing, then you just that's too much room for error, because it's too many. Like I say, it's too many credible coaches out there that could take that program and turn it around. Because you know, I like to see him do. I don't wish the man no faltering and bad luck or whatever, but. It just too many other coaches out there that's credible that can come in here and change that program around. So like I said, why not try Dan Antonio at Michigan State? Look at his resume. Look at James Franklin. Look what Kirby Smart did in his second year. This is the second year, but a lot of people say he did have a lot of Mark Richt players. But still, you take a lot of coaches and put them in that position with Kirby Smart. It'll probably take them 5 years to get where Kobe Smart than done in 2 years. You got to still, just like I said, Chase, I can't say it no more. I can't express it no more that the horse is only good as the jockey that rides him. If you ain't got the jockey that know how to kick that horse in, you ain't going to win. It comes down to 4 or 5 horses down the stretch. You got that jockey that knows what he's doing, the one gonna win out. I never seen a mule or a donkey in a Kentucky Derby. You know, it is thoroughbreds. They got, you know, Ohio State got thoroughbreds. USC got Notre Dame got them. But you know, you got to know what you're doing. You got to coach up, not down. And when you had recruiting years like Butch Jones last 2 or 3 years, you stockpile with talent. But you got to know how to coach them.
That's true, Triple.
You run up against Citadel. If you don't know, you can't coach them, you ain't going to perform well. That's embarrassing for you to go up against a team like UMass and only score 17 points, and they score 14 on you. That's ridiculous. I mean, you know, Brady Hope, that was a former coach, I think you should just clean house. Clean house.
Well, Triple
Get
D.
rid of all of them. Just let them go with Big Jones and just start over. Bring somebody in there. What you got to lose if you got rid of Big Jones right now? Don't even wait till the end of the season. What are you waiting on? The man had 5 years, and then he went out and got this defense coordinator who's stinking it up this year, and you got the offensive coordinator. He ain't had no experience as a head coach or whatever, and he calling lame plays. I believe, man, you can go there, Chase, and call better plays than what they and get more productivity out of that team. They just up and down. And when you think they finna roll, they going back. Yeah. You think they finna go forward, they just stand there. They look like they stuck in cement. I think they need to just to run all them off, just start off. There's too many credible coaches out there not to go out there and reach for one of them. Call them up. If they turn you down, that's somebody else. You go out there and get some Louisiana Tech coach. What they do to come here, deserve to come here. Who is Louisiana Tech? What did he do?
That's Dave Hart's fault.
On his resume. If y'all look at you all there, Chase, and you looking for some, AD, you go and get a guy with a resume. Don't go out and get these lame coaches because you're going to have a lame program.
Hey, Triple D, we're lit up here, and come see me next week at the Fulton Press Box, buddy. Have a great weekend.
All right, then. Okay,
Thanks for watching us. Thanks for calling.
God bless you, man. I love your show, and y'all keep up the good work.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, they asked earlier about Oak Ridge's coach, whether Oak Ridge had been better before he came back or whether Oak Ridge was better after Gaddis came in.
Yes, sir.
The truth is Gaddis was the best coach Oak Ridge has probably had since the mid-50s.
Okay, is Gaddis the one that won all the state championships and had great teams in the 80s and 90s?
Yes.
How many years was he at Oak Ridge in his first tenure?
I'm not exactly sure how many years he was been at Oak Ridge total, but he was at Oak Ridge once, and then he left and went to Central Tennessee for a couple of years, and then he came back.
Okay. All right.
But Gaddis is probably the best coach they've had since Jack Armstrong.
Okay.
I've been following Oak Ridge football since 1954, and my brother played for Oak Ridge back in 56 and 57.
All right. Well, that's interesting. We didn't get to watch football in 57, that's for sure, and I didn't get to see Gaddis's teams play when he was here the first time, and obviously people in Oak Ridge were very excited he was back, and I'm sure.
Well, you're not going to get coaches today like Jack Armstrong was. No coach could survive today if they did the things that Jack Armstrong did.
And you're probably not going to get kids that tough enough to take what Jack Armstrong did, and I don't know who Jack Armstrong is.
He was a great coach.
Yeah.
But he was a very, very, I would say forceful coach.
Yep.
I've seen him grab people and pick them up off the ground players and literally shake them.
Well, there's nothing wrong with demanding excellence. Ask Nick Saban.
You couldn't do that today.
No. You're right. Well, caller, thanks for that info. That was a question we threw out there, and I'm glad we had somebody had the answer.
I don't think there's any doubt about it that since Gaddis came back to Oak Ridge football has gotten quite a bit better.
You coming to Fulton next week?
No, I doubt if I will be going to the Fulton game. I'll be listening to it.
All right, go Falcons.
See you, caller. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I didn't know what to say to that.
Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, this is Michael Hayes from Fulton High School. You think UT is going to hire John Gruden?
I don't know if they're going to hire John Gruden. I think they probably, good chance they might offer him the job and offer him a lot of money.
That'd be a smart move. If they don't go with him, do you think they would consider Bobby Black?
Well, he's a winner, and the guy we got right now is not. So
He's got that going for him.
He's got that going for him, caller.
Yeah, that's my name's Michael. You don't have to call me caller. My name is Michael.
Well, Michael, you did a good job on the 25-second clock tonight. You know, you got retired from the box at keeping the first downs because you messed that up 3 or 4 times last year. But you're doing a better job on the 25-second clock.
That's what we do.
Well, I'm trying to figure out a way to get.
We know how to do it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a way to get fired. So we might from the PA. So I might be working on some. I might be getting a hold of you, find out how you can get fired from one job to another one.
Well, I'll do the PA and you do the clock.
All right, that sounds good. Thank you, caller.
See you, man.
Okay.
Joe Biden.
All right, guys. Well, it's been a good show.
I think so.
It's good.
Yeah.
You know, next week I think is a very cool week in the call-in show. We will know a lot about UT football.
Yeah.
I think we'll know probably Sunday or Monday whether we're going to have him all year or it's over. And then I think high school football, this is the best time of the year for high school football. You know, you're always excited when it kicks off. You get in a little bit of a lull, but, man, this week 10 going to the playoffs, it's just as good as it gets.
Oh, yeah, nothing like it. People, some kids are going to be putting on those basketball uniforms.
Yep.
And some are gonna advance in the playoffs, survive and advance.
And it's cool because we know for sure that we're going to have 2 or 3 teams in our area at least play 2 to 3 playoff games.
Yeah.
So, good times, good areas. Guys, great show.
When do we get rid of Butch Jones? What game?
I think he's here to the end of the year, and I think he's done.
Aaron?
I might agree unless the wheels come off. I think if tomorrow is as bad a blowout as I think it's going to be, and then you lose to Kentucky, I think it right there.
Yep.
I think you have to.
Another great Friday night scoreboard with mulch and more. I might call and get some field dirt from him. Okay,
Let's
sorry.
take one more call.
Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
What's going on?
Hey, I was just talking about this coaching search. You guys threw out a couple of names, Shoup, Gruden, guys like that. If they don't get somebody like that, who else is legitimate? Is it a James Franklin? Is it a Greg Schiano? What do you guys think realistically?
I got an answer. I'll let you all respond first.
Go ahead, Aaron.
I'm not entirely sure. I know one person that I would probably call is Chad Morris. He's done a really good job at SMU this year. I would absolutely call him. Scott Frost, everybody's said his name. He's doing a great job at UCF this year. I think he's a great up-and-coming coach. Beyond that, I don't think they call Lane Kiffin. I think,
the Lane train.
I don't think that happens. I don't think Bob Soup's coming out of retirement. So I think one of those up-and-comers is what you're looking at.
You think that, go ahead.
What do you think about, aside from the Gruden, the Kelly, the Stoops, what do you think about Dan Mullen?
Dan Mullen's done an awesome job at probably the hardest school to win at in the SEC.
And was number 1 in the country at one time.
Yeah, I don't think he leaves.
So.
No, I like Dan Mullen. I really do.
I think you'll wind up paying somebody $3 to $4 million, and 40% of the fan base will have to Google him.
I hope that's not the case.
I think Tennessee football is in better shape right now than it was when Lane Kiffin left because of the timing, and when Dooley left because of such a terrible job the guy did. The guy did not sign a lineman. So then you had someone like Butch Jones come in. You're going to get a big name coach because Curry is doing his due diligence on the front end of this rather on the back end of this, and Dave Hart and Hamilton probably are 1A and 1B of the 2 worst athletic directors we've ever had at the university.
Well, and you have those 2 guys back to back, and you sit here and you wonder why we are at where we're at,
Yeah, and I'm telling you, James,
Go ahead.
It's not as much about coaches as it is athletic directors, like you said, 1A and 1B. So, I mean, all of that combined with the coaches, and I mean, you get what you get right now.
Yeah.
I think the fan base be thrilled. Go ahead.
James Franklin, and I've said this for years now, and I'll stick by this. James Franklin is the Bruce Pearl of college football.
You took the words out of my mouth. And he's one of those guys that if he's not yours, that James Franklin, blah, 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 I can't stand that, blah, blah. And then he's a Vol, and you're like, that's my man.
Yep.
I've got a good friend that's a donor at Vandy. He's a dentist in Nashville. He's been a donor for a long time. He told me that Vanderbilt was never as excited about football as when Franklin was there, and they were never as disappointed to see someone leave like he left going to a bigger school, but they knew there was nothing they could do.
Right.
But and he compared him to Bruce Pearl several years ago, and he's dead on. I think Franklin is the type of guy, personality-wise, he thinks he's bigger and better than anybody else, and he thinks he's smartest man in the room.
Yeah.
And he would not care to come back to an SEC. He doesn't have to run to the Big Ten.
Right.
I think he would be willing to take a challenge, but it's got to be at the right job. Here's the thing, caller. Any amount of money will have someone interested.
Go through any of his own division.
We're losing you, caller.
Would be, well, if he comes to Tennessee, you've got to go through Alabama. He could lose to Alabama, and he could still beat them in the SEC championship game if he's at Tennessee, and then he doesn't have to deal with them if you make it to the playoffs.
Right.
I think he's got an easier road in the SEC, if you ask me.
He's a more polished version of a Lane Kiffin. Brash, outgoing, come out and say, well, yeah, we're going to roll Alabama. Why wouldn't we? We're Tennessee.
He's a winner.
Yeah.
We need a winner. We need a winner. Dooley and Butch Jones are losers. They're losers. Yeah.
Guys, I appreciate it, man. Y'all have a good one.
All right. Thanks for calling. Have a Gruden.
Go ahead, call you on the air.
Let me ask you all a question.
Yes.
Why would John Gruden come to Tennessee when he has a $6.5 million job working half-time and come over here to Tennessee for $6.5 million, $7 million, and have a full-time job?
Where did you see he made $6.5 million at ESPN?
It was on the ESPN.
Oh, was it?
Hey, why would Donald Trump run for president?
He's a dummy.
Well, maybe Gruden's a dummy. He's not getting paid enough. Have you seen his haircut?
He ain't gonna have nothing to. He ain't gonna come to Tennessee.
Well, probably not. But you make him tell you no.
Yeah, I agree. Pride.
That's a big, not a little one, but a big one. He ain't gonna come to Tennessee.
Okay, so let me ask you
That'd
this.
be nice, but he ain't gonna quit no full-time job, part-time job to come to a full-time job.
It's not a part-time job. Here's the story. If you made $6.5 million per year and you got told what to do every day by ESPN when you're working for football season, or would you come to Tennessee if you're a competitor and a coach for $9.5 million? Would you take $3 more million and come coach college football?
He ain't coming to Tennessee.
And have all the power.
Answer the question. Would you take $3 more million to get back into coaching?
Why, sure.
Okay.
But he won't do it.
But would you take $3 more million to coach football?
I say, why, sure.
Okay. There you go. I don't know if he's coming, but I guarantee he's going to be offered at least $3 to $4 more million if Tennessee offers him the job.
I don't think he'll be here. It'd be nice. He is a good coach. He's one of the best.
Well, and I don't think what's funny is I'm not sure he's proven a college coach.
Well, he didn't. Last time he coached college was like the '80s or something.
But it would be a cool story, and I think the fan base would go.
And I think if it didn't work out, I think your fan base.
He won a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay. That's all I know.
Yep. But we got to get a better coach. We agree on that, don't we, caller?
That's it.
All right, you're the man.
You're the man. You're awesome.
All right, y'all have a good one.
All right.
See you. That'll wrap it up, guys. Thanks everybody for calling in. Thanks for the coaches that called in, the the loyal callers that give us updates on the games. Utilize and maximize. Could you imagine that on an orange and white shirt with Triple D as the big booster?
That's something else.
That's something else. Guys, it's Friday Night Scoreboard brought to you by Mulch & More. We are out, and we will see you next Friday night. Thanks for joining us.
Mulch & More in Midtown is your landscaping headquarters. Mulch & More offers mulch, the best topsoil in the area. All types of gravel, sand, pea gravel, either loose or in bags, creek rock, river rock, field stone, mountain mist stone, railroad cross ties, straw bales, fence posts, farm gates, and much more. Mulch & More offers backhoe and dump truck service. And Mulch & More can also demolish a house or building on your property, and they'll haul it off for you. Give Gary a call today at 865-740-5229 for Mulch & More in Midtown.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
Really? Again? Hey, if I had automotive style suspension like the new Simplicity, plus a free floating mower deck for the best cut, I'd be all that too. Well, and if I had the expertise and advice of his Simplicity dealer, maybe he'd look forward to hanging out with me.
You don't have a Simplicity dealership.
Good point. Huh.
Yeah. SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Ladies, it's football time at Hammer Stores and time to show the colors of your favorite college team. Hurry to Hammers and get ready for the big weekend games, the tailgate parties, or game day Fridays at work. Choose from top labels sold in better specialty stores and upscale department stores. Put together a dressy two-piece outfit or go casual with a beautiful
We're the Oliver Springs cheerleaders hanging out at Oak Ridge Utility District getting ready for the big game. O-S-H-S-O-S-H-S-O-S-H, go Cats go!
ORUD makes it easy with 0% financing. When it is your turn to host the big game, they have all of your appliance needs from ranges to refrigerators to make you the MVP of this season.
Football season means colder weather is just around the corner. Did you know that ORUD offers a credit for customers who convert their main heating source to a natural gas?
Tackle those dirty uniforms by purchasing a washer and dryer from ORUD. Natural gas dryers cost about half as much to operate as electric dryers, saving you money this football season.
Teaming up with Oak Ridge Utility and Natural Gas will have you calling all the right plays this year. Don't wait to make the switch. Call today. So now the only question is, what time is it?
It's high school football time in Tennessee.
I'm alive.
Good evening and welcome again to Bobcat Country, the Oliver Springs Bobcats. Tonight in Oliver Springs for a big matchup between two local communities. About, 4 miles apart?
Yeah, about like that, something like that.
On Highway 62 on the Coach Chris Memorial Highway. Great night for high school football, David, as we come into week 10.
It's here, buddy. It's here.
Good, crisp night. Both teams coming into the night, fairly healthy. The Cofield Yellow Jackets have had several injuries. I think Coach Henry told me they had 2 knee surgeries Monday. So he's got some walking wounded over there, a couple in a wheelchair. But I think Oliver Springs is somewhat healthy. They've talked to, we had Coach Green and some of his boys on Wednesday night, and this just a tell you, the parking lots are full. A lot of tailgating going on. Saw Coach Christopher out in the parking lot. Her and her team were out tailgating and getting ready for the ball game tonight. And in fact, she's coming in as we speak. So they've finished, I guess, and getting ready for the stadium. So we welcome you tonight to Channel 12's High School Football Game of the Week. And we're certainly glad to have you with us here tonight, and want to thank our sponsors for allowing us to bring you these football games. We want to thank the administrators of the school and the Rome County school system for allowing us the opportunity to do this as well. David, it just seems like it just goes by so quickly.
It does, man. It don't seem like no time ago we started this thing again this year, so it's about over, though.
Well, I want to try something different tonight. I had everything catered in tonight, and I saw where you had the hope the meatloaf and mashed potatoes and green beans were to your liking.
Oh because, you did a really fine job.
I had you in mind when we picked the caterer out and picked the menu out.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, you did a really good.
Thank you for that.
Really good job.
Move right along.
Yeah, move right along, buddy.
So, anything for you and the guys. It's been a great year.
It has.
As we look at region standings, this is Cofield. Looks like with Greenback playing again tonight. Looks like Cofield is going to probably come in second in the region, and give them an opportunity probably to get back at Greenback maybe week 3.
Yeah, week 3, and it looks like it'll be at Greenback too, possibly if everything keeps on track. So
it looks like Midway, and Oliver Springs. If Midway could pull a big upset tonight against Greenback, and Oliver Springs
not
loses,
happening.
Don't think so.
Not happening.
So it looks like Greenback, Cofield, Oliver Springs, and Midway in that region. So.
That's big for Midway. Midway the last couple of years, I think they missed the playoffs. They're back. Will more likely be back in it this year. That's a big step for that program down there. So, congratulations.
Yeah, it is. It's always good to see. And Oakdale, for the last 2 years, have had really good football seasons, and this year they get back to reality in a local region. And that really shows you, David, the difference in the quality of football.
It does.
Up in the Northeast and here.
It does.
Other games tonight, Rockwood is out of region as they go to Hancock County, I think it is.
I'm not for sure.
And they'll finish next week against Cumberland Gap in a region game. But Harriman Blue Devils will entertain Oakdale tonight. Midway, of course, as we said, has Greenback. Kingston will entertain Pigeon Forge in senior night at Kingston. So as we go around, Oak Ridge travels to Powell tonight. And Anderson County makes another trip to Chattanooga. They probably would do well to find them a cheap motel down there, and that's what four trips, at least 4 trips to Chattanooga this year.
Sure is.
But they've wrapped up their region, so they will have an opportunity now after getting the region, you know, the next thing in line for them is trying to complete an undefeated season. I think first in school history.
Yeah, something they've never done up there.
And the officials on board as well. So there they are. Big thing here tonight. Again, we talked about the two communities, and there's one common thread that binds these two communities, Coach Gary Chris. And we're able to get the highway named after him from Oliver Springs up to Cofield. But that's just such a minor part of what he has contributed to both of these communities. They'll be letting some. I think Brad has a little tribute on Coach Gary Chris.
In one way or another, and I told someone earlier this morning the contributions that he has made are like a ripple in the water. They keep moving out and touching many people for generations yet to come. But that's the kind of impact that he had on people today and in the future.
But he really was a legend in East Tennessee and also in Tennessee high school sports. But beyond the football and beyond the fact that he was an expert at what he did such a good job, he had an impact on so many young people's lives. And if we had all the people here today that he had a positive impact on, we couldn't fill this parking lot, probably couldn't fill several acres, because in the time I've been in public office, I've not seen anybody that was as well liked as that gentleman was.
We're just so grateful and humbled by what has been done to honor Gary, and he was deserving, and we're happy for him for that. And I think it's fitting that the highway that linked the two communities that he loved so dearly will now bear his name. But more importantly, there will be a generation of young people who will come who didn't know Gary, and they will ask their parents, who was this man? And they will hear about a man who gave his life to others, who influenced and had an impactful life and allowed the love of Jesus to flow through him to others. And again, we want to thank the legislators for making this happen, and a special thank you to Brad Jones, who has been the tip of the spear for many things that have gone on to honor Gary since his death. And we thank him, and we thank all of you for loving Gary as we do.
So thanks to Brad for that tribute for Coach Gary Chris. And obviously, even with that tribute, this is a big football game for these communities, David. And as we mentioned, a big crowd on hand for this game.
Well, you know, Coach Chris played here in Oliver Springs, and then coached his whole career, I think, in Cofield. I believe that's right.
Yeah.
And, you know, being a short distance like they are, he had an impact not only on this community, but on the Cofield community.
He did, and it's
bottom line is he is just a good guy and a good coach and just a good person to be around, and to even, you know, he was a good guy to know, because he was quality.
You know, you could come up in the middle of the summer and be playing softball tournaments up there.
He'd be mowing.
And he'd have him high socks on and be mowing. You're exactly right.
My mother used to work with him, and when he worked in the bank right after a UT, and, you know, if you look at him today, in the past, he didn't change very much. He didn't change anything. But I tell you something I found special about Coach Chris. Every time I saw him, I don't care where we were at, whether we're in Greenback once, first thing out of his mouth was, "David, how's your mother?" And I always remember that. That's just the type of guy he was. He was really a good guy.
You're exactly right, and you know, you appreciate the fact that if you talk to any of the kids that he coached, you realize, you know, how much respect and love they have for him. And Coach Henry and I were talking down on the field just a little earlier tonight. high school coaching is no different than any other level, you know, and what we were talking about is you never get to enjoy a win. You know, you play tonight, and tomorrow you're working where you're worried about next week.
Yeah, you got to. You know, it's become all about the state.
But it's
getting
a
ready.
shame. It's a shame, you know, that you don't even get to slow down and enjoy what you have. And he said that's the sad part of all this is the kids get to, you know, they'll take off tonight and they'll have a good time and they'll have a good weekend. He said we're nervous wrecks about next week, and you try to get ready. You have to get ready, because if you don't, somebody's getting ready for you.
Well, if you got a top-notch program, you got to do top-notch things. That's just part of the game today. It really is.
But he's exactly right. And these kids, 17, 18 years old, and I was complimenting as we came in some of the parents from the Oliver Springs players. You know, Dave, when we have kids up, they're 16, 17 years old, 18 years old, and it's amazing how well they do when most of them have never had a TV camera placed in front of them.
No, you know, the kids from Oliver Springs Wednesday night act like I think they enjoyed it, and it's a big deal for them being on TV.
So
it's a big deal for me to be on TV.
Oliver Springs marching band is coming toward their home fans, and I think we're going to have the release of the balloons here just in a moment, and I think what they're going to say is Coach Gary Crease, a man beloved by two communities. Gary Crease was a student at Oliver Springs High School from 1962 to 65. He was a starter for all 4 years of his football career at Oliver Springs High School. In 1963 and 64, he was named as an All Tri-County and All East Tennessee player. In 1965, he was a co-captain and named to the All Tri-County team. University of Tennessee, he was a 4-year starter as a wide receiver. 4-year starter, so that's pretty impressive.
Yes.
At UT, he received many accolades. In 1996, he was named captain of the freshman team, and he was selected as the most valuable receiver. In 1967, he was a member of the SEC championship team and the national championship team. In 1968, he was the first player to catch a pass on artificial turf, and in 1969, he was named as the All-SEC team and voted the most valuable receiver. Coach Gary Chris.
Team. In 1968, he was the first player to catch a pass on artificial turf. In 1969, he was named to the All-SEC team and voted the most valuable receiver. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. And remain standing for the national anthem.
high school marching band. And the balloons are rising skyward. Beautiful evening here at Oliver Springs for high school football. We'll take a break and we'll come back for the coin toss right after this.
My name is Gary Chris, assistant coach 1979 to 1987, head coach from 87 to 2007. Fondest memories, there's so many I can't just say one, but working with all these great young men for the last 30-something years and working with all these guys that I coached under and coached with me and being a part of this great community for 32 years. It's been the best time of my life.
It's time to look closer to home and energize America with fuel made in America. Natural gas is a cleaner, safer, more efficient, and more affordable energy choice. ORUD is your family's comfort provider. Natural gas is the responsible choice for your family, your wallet, and the environment. Gas is a great value, but it is also the best way to cook, heat your water, and warm your home. If you want the best for less, switch your house to natural gas.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
There's only one thing better than owning a Simplicity lawn tractor or zero-turn mower, and that's purchasing it at your neighborhood Simplicity dealer. It's like getting a free outdoor power equipment expert who will help you select, operate, and maintain your equipment for years to come. So visit your local Simplicity dealer today and get a free expert with every purchase.
In today's world, you don't stay in business long without providing exceptional customer service. The Duff family has been providing exceptional customer service for over 44 years. Our customers rate us highly, as shown by the fact we're the only dealer in Tennessee to have earned the Subaru Stellar Care Award for customer satisfaction 6 years in a row. Check our online reviews or ask your friends. They'll tell you to come to Earl Duff Subaru, where buying is a pleasure.
Choose 0% APR financing on all new 2017 Impreza models for up to 63 months during the model year-end sale at Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman.
Mulch & More in Midtown is your landscaping headquarters. Mulch & More offers mulch, the best topsoil in the area. All types of gravel, sand, pea gravel, either loose or in bags, creek rock, river rock, field stone, mountain mist stone, railroad cross ties, straw bales, fence posts, farm gates, and much more. Mulch & More offers backhoe and dump truck service. And Mulch & More can also demolish a house or building on your property, and they'll haul it off for you. Give Gary a call today at 865-740-5229 for Mulch & More in Midtown.
The Harriman Utility Board provides electric, gas, water, and sewer services for the city of Harriman, as well as most of Roane and Morgan counties. Recent major projects include an upgrade of our 161 kilovolt electric substation. Another ongoing project is the rehabilitation of an antiquated sewer system, including an upgrade of our wastewater treatment plant. These projects will improve the quality and reliability of these services and meet state and federal requirements. For more information, visit our website at hub-tn.com or call us at 865-882-3242.
At Quality Auto Sales, we don't just sell any used cars, we sell quality used cars. Since 1988, Richard Burris has provided dependable used cars and trucks, both foreign and domestic, at quality prices. And with over 200 cars and trucks to choose from, you'll be able to find one that's right for you. So no matter what you need, come to the place where honesty and quality count. Quality Auto Sales, 402 Midway Drive in Oliver Springs. Call 435-9090 today.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We built our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
You have the nickname of High Pockets. How did that come about?
Well, Bob Johnson, who was the first draft pick of the Cincinnati Bengals, he and Dewey Warner and some of those guys. When I was a freshman, I wore my pants kind of a little high up on my legs were so long, and I pulled my pants up, so they started calling me High Pockets.
Very cool.
So they put that name on me my freshman year, and it stuck. They still call me that.
Coach Gary Chris. And thanks for those memories. Oliver Springs taking the field now. The captains have met. Cofield won the toss, and Cofield will. They want the football, so Cofield's going to take the football here right off the bat, and I don't blame them, David.
I don't blame them either. Well, they're going to try to get back on track from their last game.
So Coach Larry Green in his third year here at Oliver Springs. He's assisted by Tony Crass, Tony Dutton, Tyler Harper, Terry Hill, and Tony Kegley. Coach Keith Henry in his 10th year at Cofield. He's assisted by Jared Henry, Jason Wilson, Ben Jackson, James Bells, Shelley Burgess, Ted McKinney, and Josh Wright. So the young man kicking off for Oliver Springs, Zach Brooks, told us the other night he felt comfortable from 53, David.
I seen him do it today.
So he's backing up what he feels. And deep for Cofield, Michael Lowe. And it's going to be taken at the 3 by Lowe. And he picks his way out, and he'll be brought down at about the 20-yard line.
You know, a pretty good weapon, Ron, if you got him where you can pin him back there like that.
So it's going to be a Hammers 1st and 10 after the Mulch and Moore kickoff. So the Mulch and Moore kickoff brought out to the 20-yard line, and that's where Yellow Jackets will have the football. Parker McKinney will be the quarterback. He's in the shotgun, and he's going to throw. Throws out into the flat, a little bubble screen pass out there, and he's going to pick up 10 yards. So White on the stop for Oliver Springs, and they're going to call it a first down as the ball will be placed at the 30-yard line. So it's another Hammers first down for Cofield. So Cofield on the first possession here tonight. On the move. McKinney this time again gives on the little counter play, gives it off to Heathley. And Heathley will have it out to about the 36-yard line, second down and 5. McKinney that's a nice little design play.
There's a lot of movement in the backfield on that too.
More than one at one time?
No, not more. I mean, just after the ball snapped, just a lot of people moving.
Yeah,
I mean, they're crisscrossing. It's almost like you got to be careful. You have a fumble.
So this time they're going to give it around the left side, and Oliver Springs plays it well.
Played it
no
well.
gain.
I really do believe, Ron, that Oliver Springs thinks they can win this game tonight. And there's nothing wrong with that. They really think they've got a chance in this game tonight. I don't think there's anybody else giving them a chance, but they think they can. That's all that really matters.
Vickus on the run, and Lane Lee was in on the help with the stop. So third down and 5. And this is going to be the down right here that you have to stop Cofield.
You got to stop them right here. We'll see if they're
on the third down play because they'll pass you to death. And McKinney looking, and it's complete. And a nice spin move, and he's still on his feet.
Uh-oh.
Good balance, and he'll take it all the way down to the 33-yard line. So about 20 yards after the catch, and he just down and out, David, and right there kept his balance, bounces off there, no wrapping, and he gets it down. Watch him, his head, puts his head down, knocked out of bounds, and it's a big first down, Hammers first down for Cofield. And the third down, you know, when he's coming out pass.
What'd that play pick up about?
Well, it was from the 36.
What, down to the 30, 33?
Yeah, so 10, 20, about 30 yards.
Wow.